In the late 1920s, the prospect of a Hillsborough High student enrolling in college was bleak. The nation was in the throes of the Great Depression. Businesses were failing, and many of Tampa's beautiful waterfront homes were left abandoned. The principal at Hillsborough High, Frederick Spaulding, didn't see these barriers. He only saw bright young students who were in need of a place to continue their learning. In 1931, collegiate-level courses were offered at Hillsborough High. This would later become the University of Tampa. On August 2, 1933, Spaulding arrived at the doors of Plant Hall with a 100-year lease from the city and a firm resolve, and with the turn of a key, opened the door to the University of Tampa. In its fledgling years, UT was fortunate if it could collect half of the tuition due from its students. It was only through the dedication of its professors, who worked without pay, that the university survived the Great Depression. Over the next several decades, UT grew slightly, enrolling up to 1,800 at times, starting several sports teams, and even began accepting students from other areas of the country. But in the early 90s, the growth seemed to stand still, even stop. UT needed new life, some passion. UT needed strong leadership.
In 1995, Dr. Vaughn became president and UT began to transform. 1,000 UT students has become 7,200, and we are now entering our 17th consecutive year of record enrollment. All the while, UT's academic profile continues to increase. There has been $350 million in new construction since 2000. We have added 7 new residence halls, academic buildings and labs, as well as athletic facilities. Plant Hall even got new carpet and new windows. UT now has more than 3,000 events annually and 200 clubs and student organizations. We have won 13 NCAA Division II championships, and since 2000, Spartan teams have won 35 Sunshine State Conference titles. As a member of the University of Tampa Spartan family, you are a guiding force behind UT's remarkable success. We are alums, students, parents, and friends, and together we are changing lives. We are individuals, yet the greater whole is only complete when we work together. You have helped make UT a vibrant community with growing resources and a superior reputation. Just like in the beginning when professors worked without pay, the spirit of giving at UT remains strong. Last year, nearly $14 million was donated to the university by thousands of generous supporters. When we strengthen education, we strengthen our job force and our nation as a whole. Donations support academics, campus life, and a student's ability to afford an education. Your participation is what matters most and shows that our Spartan family believes in the future of UT. Whatever level of support, your gift is important to us and enables UT to provide the challenging, high-quality education that has defined our university. Thank you for helping UT achieve such great success.
Testing. And there we go.
A very pleasant good afternoon, everybody. Nice to have you with us here for this winner's bracket game in the NCAA South Regional. It's a double elimination tournament. These two teams won their first games yesterday. It's the University of Tampa, ranked number 3 in the country, the number 1 seed in the South, 41-9 on the year, taking on SSC rival Rollins College, 35-16 on the year, the number 4 seed in the South, the number 11th ranked team in NCAA Division II. We are getting started here in just a couple of minutes. The national anthem was played before the first game this afternoon, so we're going right to baseball. I'm Scott Lynn, joined once again by Taylor Stolworthy. Nice to have you with us.
Oh, nice to be here, Scott. An exciting 5 p.m. showdown. The winner goes on to game number 2 tomorrow. And the loser of this game will be facing Spring Hill, who completed an upset of Valdosta State earlier today.
We'll talk more about that. That's their first ever win in NCAA Division II regional play. We'll talk a good deal about it because the winner of this game moves on to the winner's bracket for tomorrow. But the loser will take on the Spring Hill College Badgers in that game. So we'll talk about that in a bit. The home plate umpire tonight is Casey Sanchez, Kevin Flay, John Bennett, and Kendron Wright round out the crew. Wright, we actually had a misspelling was handed to us yesterday. It was we were handed a note that said W-E-I-G-H-T. It's actually W-R-I-G-H-T. It's Wright, not Wait, so we apologize to Kendron for that. Okay, we got it right today, and we're ready for the starting lineup. First of all, for the, I guess you would call them, the visiting Rollins Tars. Leading off at shortstop, number 23, Joey Rubin. Adams Torres will bat second and play second base. At first base, batting third is Jesslyn Whitehead. Ryan Coleman will bat fourth. He's in left field. Number 5 in center field, Cam Meehan will be batting fifth. Batting sixth is Mason Wilson. Jimmy Thies is playing third base. Parker Smith will bat eighth and play right field, and Spencer Sarangar will be the catcher. And here's the first pitch of the game, swung on and missed. That's Michael Paul on the mound for the University of Tampa, second team All-Sunshine State Conference. We'll talk about him in just a bit. We'll also give you the Tampa lineup after this pitch. It's in there for a strike. 2 strikes and nothing to Joey Rubin. Jordan Lala is playing left field, leading off for the Spartans. Drew Earhart is going to be at first base, batting second. J.D. Urso will bat third and play short. Here's this pitch. Ground ball out to the second baseman. Picked up out there and over to first in time. A nice play, a routine, as it were, by Nico Saladino. And there's the first out of the ball game. After Urso in the lineup comes SSC Player of the Year, E.J. Cumbo, the right fielder, batting cleanup. But then it's the third baseman, Anthony Nunez, the designated hitter, Jamarcus Lyons. Catcher, Danny Gutcher, will bat after that. Here's the pitch on the way. It's in there for a strike, a fastball from Michael Paul. After Gutcher is Nico Saladino, the second baseman, who made that defensive play here to start the game. And then Jose Cadenas is in center field. Michael Paul on the mound. Second team All-Conference, as I mentioned. Paul had a nice season. He is ahead. Well, actually, the count is 1-1 here. Swung on and a little drive into right center field. That's going to get down probably for extra bases. Yes, it gets all the way to the wall. Here goes Adams Torres around second, and he'll hold up there. A one-out double by Adams Torres, and the Rollins Tars are liking how things have started here. Now, a little bit of history between these two. They played 3 games earlier this season in the first weekend of April, and Rollins won the first 2 games by the score of 5-3, and then they lost the last game to the hometown Spartans 6-4. We'll have some details on that. But so 2 out of 3 went to Rollins on this field not all that long ago.
It was on Friday night where Michael Paul had a tough outing against Rollins, had a very high pitch count, conceding 3 earned in 3 innings, but looking to respond in this game here as we continue regional play. And not only was it a matchup where Rollins took the series early in the season, it was also last year in the Super Regional where Rollins ended Tampa's season.
Yeah, so there is a little history here, and Rollins feels like they can play with confidence on this field. That pitch just misses. 1 ball, 1 strike to Jesslyn Whitehead. Whitehead batting .384, tops on the team, has 86 hits on the year. He started every game, one of only 2 players for Rollins to start all 50 games this season. All 51, I should say. That fastball is just inside, just missed. It's 2 balls and a strike.
We were talking about Michael Paul earlier. He's been the Friday night starter for the Spartans, so not surprised to see him getting the nod here against Rollins. .368 ERA, 63 strikeouts leading the team. Really solid campaign.
That pitch is just off the plate, apparently. 3-1 the count to Jesslyn Whitehead. They're going to be a little careful with him, but Ryan Coleman, who's up next, is also a real threat. Here comes the 3-1. Swung on and missed the high one, maybe out of the zone, might have chased. But the Spartans will take it. It goes full now. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 away here in the top half of the first. Here it comes. Swung on and fouled back. Michael Paul, 6-2, an ERA of 3.68. This is his 15th start, 15th appearance, 73 innings pitched, 67 hits. Has walked 24 and struck out 63. Both of those are team highs.
Good to have the team high in strikeouts, not so much team in walks. But it's also because Michael Paul has also pitched the most innings of any Spartan.
That ball grounded foul down the third baseline. The count remains full. The Spartans want to get off to a good start. Rollins, in yesterday's game against Valdosta State, scored 8 runs in the first inning. And there's a little blooper into short right center field. It's going to be hauled in by the right fielder. Tagging and going to third and making it safely is Torres. As Cumbo's throw had no chance, really, to get him. I thought at first it might get dropped in there for a moment.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to be a good throw, but yeah, even Cumbo doesn't have that arm strength to beat him, and Torres will get just 90 feet from home. But yeah, Rollins really exploded on offense in the first inning against Valdosta State. However, they have 2 outs quickly here and haven't put a run on the board. That is good news for Tampa. They just have to get this final out now.
Ryan Coleman stands in. First pitch in there for a strike. Coleman batting .319. On-base percentage of .353. Cam Meehan is on deck. There is a shot into left field. Going back, and making the catch is Lala, and that ends the first inning. No runs, a 1-out double, but Torres is stranded at third. 1 man left. We have played a half an inning. We head to Tampa's first at-bats. It's no score here in Tampa.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
I am an NCAA student athlete.
And I pledge to be a champion of unity
on my team, on my campus, and in my community.
I pledge to embrace differences and strive for inclusion and collaboration.
I pledge to stand against racism, hate, and discrimination.
I pledge to strive for love, care, and forgiveness.
I pledge to stand against silence, deceit, and obscurity.
I pledge to strive for dialogue, truth, and understanding.
I pledge to stand against fear and doubt.
I pledge to strive for trust and belief in one another.
I pledge to stand against complacency and stagnancy.
I pledge to strive for change and growth.
I commit to supporting my fellow student athletes in all circumstances that impact them.
I commit to both choosing unity personally and encouraging it for all.
I pledge these things because we are stronger together.
United as one.
We're back here as we head to the bottom of the first. Scott Lynn along with Taylor. And it's nice to have you with us We're ready to get the bottom half of the inning underway, and Lala will lead it off. Jordan Lala is just a tough man at the plate. He is great on base percentage. He is really, really tough. Team high 441 batting average. On base percentage also leads the way. He's had 4 4-hit games this year. First team All Sunshine State Conference, as you would expect with the kind of numbers he put up.
Yeah, an incredible season from Jordan Lala, proving why he's one of the best to do it for the Spartans. And, you know, it's pretty impressive when you have a slugging percentage of 543 to have an on-base percentage that's somehow even better.
Nick Berger on the mound. First pitch in there for a strike. Has a 87-mile-an-hour fastball. Also throws a great change. And that ball is lined to center field. Coming over to make the catch is Meehan. And that's the first out of the inning. Hit well, but right at the defensive player. That'll bring Drew Earhart to the plate. Earhart, yesterday, became the all-time hits leader in Sunshine State Conference history. He had earlier in the season, late in the season actually, became Tampa's all-time hits leader when he hit a home run for the record breaker. But yesterday, he had just a huge game. He takes the first pitch in there for a strike.
Yeah, honestly, I dare call it a career game for Drew Earhart. An incredible job at the plate, doing a lot of damage against Spring Hill. And while, yes, it was a game the Spartans had won 17-2 pretty handily, it still was an impressive effort, getting 5 hits and 5 RBIs and scoring 3 times. What an incredible game from Drew Earhart.
Hit a couple out, 2 home runs on the day. That pitch is up and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Earhart. Looks in and hits a fly ball foul out of play over the top, over the third base dugout. We mentioned yesterday his dad, Rodney, played at UT, is a Hall of Famer. He played in 1986 and 87. Oh, and Earhart is hit by the pitch. Nick Berger, he just drilled him.
Well, Earhart leads the Spartans in getting hit by pitches. That was his 12th of the season. Only Urso and Saladino are up there with 10 as well. But, hey, no matter how he gets on base, I'm sure he's glad to be the first Spartan base runner of the ballgame.
Berger has now hit 7 batters on the season. That pitch is grounded foul down the third base line. Earhart will remain at first.
Stats-wise, Berger's certainly been the team ace. He's gone 76 innings, 42 strikeouts, 26 walks. And even though he's conceded 84 hits, he works great in the stretch and knows how to get out of jams. He's only allowed 27 runs earned all season.
Fastball outside. 1-1 the count. 1 away, runner at first. No score here in Tampa, just underway, bottom of the first. This is the 13th start for Berger. Foul ball down the right field line. Giving chase is the first baseman Whitehead, and it drops in. Nobody could get to it. The right fielder, the second baseman, the first baseman were all about 3 or 4 feet away when it finally bounced on the artificial turf. Berger had 3 games in which he came out of the bullpen this year, but has been a starter and a good one. He's second team All Sunshine State Conference, as is the Tampa starter, Michael Paul. So 2 good ones today. Probably going to have a bit of a pitcher's duel, even though both these teams can hit the ball well. Fastball in there for a strike. And Urso is caught looking. Well-placed pitch. Great location. Tough for Urso to do anything with that. He might have thought it was down or out just a smidge, but was too close to take in that case. And here comes E.J. Cumbo. Cumbo, what a year he's had. Again, he is the Sunshine State Conference Player of the Year.
Yeah, what a season. He's been incredible at the plate. He had a really strong start in the opening weekend. He actually hit a walk-off home run to give the Spartans one of their early wins in the season, and has just taken off from there. Leads the team in RBIs, second in average, leads in slugging, and one of the better players in OBP as well.
That pitch was very close, but it's called ball 2. Let's see if they might start the runner here. Earhart stays. Swing and a miss by Cumbo. I talked briefly with Nick Berger in between games here after the first game, and he said his dad is driven over. So he said his mom stayed home, but his dad is here watching the game today. Throw to first, runner back.
It's always good to have family coming to support you. I know some of the Rollins fans have stopped by, and always the Tampa fans will be here to show up and support the Spartans.
Berger, born and raised in Winter Park. That pitch in for a strike, evens the count 2-2. Throws a fastball and a change. Also throws a slider, but he says his two best pitches are probably the fastball and the change. 87-mile-an-hour fastball. That pitch is fouled back. The head coach of Rollins, John Sjogren. The pitching coach, associate head coach, is Patrick Zerba. They'd like to see their pitcher get out of this one. Swung on and missed. Struck him out. Berger fans the last two. He gives up just the hit by pitch. No runs, no hits. A hit by pitch, a man left on. We've played one here in Tampa. No score between Tampa and Rollins. Number 32, Kyle Hornsby.
Inside the 30. Touchdown. Michaela burns it. An incredible finish by Hall.
The NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org/opportunity.
Let's head to the top half of the second. Let me briefly get you updated on that game that concluded just a short time before this one. In a losers out game, Spring Hill College beat Valdosta State 5-4. It was the Badgers' first ever NCAA Division II regional victory. They became a D2 school 5 years ago, but certainly congratulations to Walker Bullington and his team. They were very, very happy. Norris McClure went 4 for 4 in the win today. We'll get you updated on a couple of the injury situations. They definitely have some injuries, and especially as they move forward to tomorrow's play, it will impact their ability to have a full staff. It certainly impacted their depth. Cam Meehan leads off here in the top of the second. The first pitch is apparently just a little bit low, very close. Both of these pitchers are all around the plate. I mean, they're just nibbling at the corners, and sometimes they get the call, sometimes they don't.
Yeah, sometimes they'll go 50-50, but personally the way I feel is this one I think will drop. Yes, it will. Is if the umpires stay consistent for the ones that are outside, whether they're strikes or balls or anything in between.
So the leadoff base hit by Meehan as he drops it into right center field. And now Mason Wilson, the designated hitter, comes to the plate. Wilson batting .379. Second on the team behind Whitehead's .384. Pitch is fouled out of play down the right side. No balls, one strike. Michael Paul checks, pitches, curveball just on the corner. I thought that actually might have dodged outside a little bit, but apparently it caught just a little bit of the plate, and it's 2 strikes and nothing.
I think Gutcher might have helped out with a nice frame as well, potentially. Good movement to keep the ball in the zone.
0-2 pitch, swung on and missed. He went upstairs, and Wilson gave chase. The swing and a miss. First strikeout of the game for Michael Paul. That'll bring Jimmy Thies to the plate, the third baseman.
That'll be good for Paul. Getting a strikeout will certainly get him refocused and ready to go with one away. Here he might be looking less for a strikeout and more for a potential double play ground ball.
Jimmy Thies batting .242, 3 home runs on the year. He actually has been hit by a pitch a team-high 19 times this season. Throw to first and the runner back. The ball gets away, but not far enough for Meehan to extend 90 feet forward. There is a pitch clock if you're watching college baseball here, Division II baseball for the first time maybe this year. 20-second pitch clock. The umpires keep control of that. That pitch is in for a strike. 1 strike and nothing to Jimmy Thies. The batter must be in the box and engaged, not just swinging the bat. You know, he literally has to be ready to hit by the 10-second mark or a strike is called. Here's the 0-1, fouled back up this way, off the screen. 2 strikes and nothing. Parker Smith is on deck. Now, he's the right fielder, and his average isn't a lot to write home about, 266. But according to their stats, 20 home runs and 48 runs batted in. Both are team highs. That's a high pop-up. Urso camps under it in short left field and makes the catch for out number 2. It was interesting as I was filling out the lineup, and this is the first Rollins game I've watched this year, that Parker Smith with the 20 home runs is in the 8th slot.
Yeah, it was certainly interesting for me to see as well, just all the way down in the order. But he is one of the best power hitters for Rollins College. And, hey, there is something similar for the Spartans. Danny Gutcher is batting, I believe, 7th for us today. And he leads the team not only in slugging, but in home runs.
Throw to first, diving back in safely is Meehan.
But there's generally a reason, and I know Smith had a pretty solid game 1 yesterday in Rollins' pretty explosive victory against Valdosta State. So you definitely have to trust how Rollins shape up their lineup.
That ball is fouled back and out of play. Actually, Smith just 1 for 5 yesterday. Struck out 3 times, so actually struggled a bit.
Yeah, just a little bit.
But again, I think down that low with all those other guys up getting on base ahead of him, all it takes to clear the bases is 1 swing. So that might be the idea why he's in the 8th slot. That pitch is just off the plate. No chase on that one by Parker Smith. They definitely had some prolific offense in that game yesterday against Valdosta State. Joey Rubin went 4 for 6 and drove in 4. Whitehead was 4 for 5 and drove in 3. Cam Meehan and Mason Wilson each had 3 hits. And there's a drive into center field for a base hit, and racing over towards third. They'll throw into second base and let him get in there as Meehan. So the 2-out hit by Parker Smith makes runners at the corners and will bring Spencer Sarangar to the plate. Sarangar, the catcher, batting in the 9th spot. If he were to get on, it's back to the top of the order and Joey Rubin.
And even though Rubin was out in his first at bat, he's a pretty strong guy to get on base, and that's not what you want with 2 away here.
Sarangar, 4th on the team in hitting at .362. He has 3 home runs himself. .464 on base percentage. So with your 9-hitter getting a .464 on base, that's pretty good. Oh boy, that pitch looked really good, and Danny Gutcher looked like he kind of double pumped, wanting to home plate umpire to maybe change his mind on that, but they never do.
Yep, you can't argue with City Hall, as my friend Bruce Wozniak likes to say.
Casey Sanchez said, well, I got a pretty good look at it, and I'm going to call it a ball. Here it comes into the dirt. Nice block by Gutcher. Gutcher's played all over the place for the Spartans. Now the catcher.
Yeah, he's done a good job going from catcher to DH, switching with Garavito from time to time.
2 balls, no strikes to Sarangar, and that pitch is way outside, ball 3. Michael Paul trying to get the batters to chase, but Sarangar says, no, I'm not going to do that. He's waiting for something good, something that he could get the bat on the ball. And as here comes the 3-0 pitch with 2 outs, grounded to first and into right field, past the diving Earhart. And it's going to be first and third again with 2 outs, but the Tars of Rollins College have taken the lead. 1-0 here in Tampa in the top of the 2nd.
Sarangar giving Rollins just what they need with a solid ground ball. It takes a hop, and despite the good effort over at first from Earhart, he's just not able to get it.
Nick Berger won the second game when these two teams played in early April. Actually, on April 1st, he was the winning pitcher in the 5-3 game. The loser was Eli Thurman in that one. That pitch misses, ball one. Torres and Parker each hit home runs for Rollins in that game. It's the only game that Earhart did not homer. He homered in the first and third games of that series. But again, Rollins won 2 out of 3, and they're playing with confidence here on Tampa's home field. 2-0 the count. Joey Rubin grounded out his first time. Rubin has started all 51 games, as has Whitehead. Those are the two who have started every game this season. 52 counting today, I guess. 2 balls and a strike to Rubin. Michael Paul desperate to get out of this inning with no further damage. Adams Torres, who doubled to right center his first time, stands on deck. Pitches inside. A nice job getting to it for Gutcher. And it's 3-1. It's early, but this seems to be like kind of a big spot.
It certainly is, especially if Rollins can really jump out to the early lead.
There goes the runner from first, and it's in there for a strike. It'll be a stolen base.
One thing I've noticed from Rollins in Game 1, they've been aggressive on the base path. Sarngar with a stolen base before Paul was even finished winding up, but they are taking advantage when their opponents are not very actively looking.
Ground ball out to Urso. Urso picks it up, fires over to first, and just got the speedy Rubin. He is out 6-3. But 1 run on 3 hits, 2 men left on. We've played an inning and a half here in the South Regional. It's the 2 winners from yesterday, and right now it's Rollins 1, Tampa nothing. And we head to the bottom of the second here in Tampa. The Spartans down 1-0 to the Rollins Tars in the NCAA Regional. Again, it's double elimination. The loser isn't out. The loser would play tomorrow against Spring Hill College in a losers out game. Showing bunt and missing was Anthony Nunez. But you want to be in the winners bracket all the way if you can. So the Spartans have some work to do. They knew that this would be way more difficult than yesterday against Spring Hill. That pitch is down low.
Yeah, last year the game that the Spartans played was against Nova Southeastern. It actually turned into Game 1 of what was pretty much a 3-game series between the Spartans and Sharks that Tampa would ultimately come back from the losers bracket to win the final 2 games of in thrilling fashion. And it would not be a very crazy assumption to say that after tomorrow, it could be the same with Rollins and Tampa. If the loser can defeat Spring Hill, it would be starting sort of the Game 2 of the 3-game series between the two.
Swing and a miss. Down on strikes goes Nunez. That's 3 straight strikeouts for Nick Berger. His dad, sitting in the stands, has to be pretty proud of that. 1 away, bottom of the second. Berger throws a fastball up on Jamarcus Lyons, the designated hitter. That pitch also high. We saw on that at bat by Nunez, that changeup, it really was an off speed that fooled Nunez on that second strike call. There's a drive to left field, way back. This might be gone, and this game is tied. Home run, Jamarcus Lyons. A line drive shot over the yellow stripe in left field. All Coleman could do was turn around and watch it go. And that is a home run for Jamarcus Lyons.
For Lyons, it was always going to be a matter of if, not when he strikes. He's been so consistent all year, and he has responded.
That's his 7th home run of the season. Yeah.
Yep, number 7, and actually make that number 36 on the RBI total. But what a solo shot.
First hit of the game for the Spartans, and it allowed them to tie it. A drive out of here. And here's Danny Gutcher. Gutcher, the leading home run hitter on the season, with 11. He bounces it towards third, and it's foul, wide of the bag. Thies gave chase. He managed to get close, but it was foul all the way. Gutcher, 11 homers, 38 runs batted in. And there's a shot, and it's foul. Gutcher was hoping it would stay fair, and it almost did. It was close.
So were the Spartans, and if that stayed fair, that's extra bases would be huge for Tampa. But I think on the mound, there is a bit of an exhale for Burgers. That one did just drift foul.
And there's a shot into left field. It'll hang up there long enough for Coleman to settle under it for out number 2 in the inning. Tied at 1 now on the Jamarcus Lyons home run. Batting .358 coming into the game, the second-team All-Sunshine State Conference performer a year ago. He had a couple of 4-hit games this year. In fact, was 4 of 5 against Valdosta State. Was 4 of 4 with a couple of doubles and a home run, plus a walk, on base 5 times. Here's Saladino. Nico takes the first pitch in there for a ball. And that pitch is in there for a strike. 1-1 the count. Jamarcus Lyons out of Leon King High School in Tampa. He hit a drive that time. We talked about the no-doubters yesterday by Earhart. That was pretty much another one right there. Got out in a hurry.
For sure, yeah. It definitely was going to go out of the park when it left the bat. And there wasn't a lot of time. We saw Coleman give chase. He also knew it was going all the way.
Drive into center. That'll drop in for a base hit. The Spartans' second hit of the inning and of the game. And that'll bring Jose Cadenas to the plate. Boy, did he have a game yesterday. Cadenas had a triple, his 3rd of the season. He had 4 hits, I believe.
Yep,
and double-check that.
4 RBIs, too.
Yeah.
He's
and
got
4 runs scored, wasn't it?
Yep, his experience gave him the start for Coach Urso, and he has delivered beautifully with a great performance in Game 1 and has a chance to continue here against Rollins. Yeah, 4 RBIs. What a performance.
That pitch off the plate. Yep, 4 for 5 with a triple. 4 runs batted in, 4 runs scored, and he actually stole a base, his team high 19th of the season. Only been caught once. 1-0 the pitch is in there for a strike. Came with the fastball.
Wouldn't put it past Cadenas to try to bunt here to get a board. Would be an interesting idea.
Fly ball, right field. It's going to be caught out there by Smith. He settles under it, makes the catch, and it's going to end the inning. But the Spartans got a couple of hits, including a game-tying home run from Jamarcus Lyons. 1 man left on base. We have played 2 here in Tampa in the South Regional, the winner's bracket game. It is tied. Rollins 1 and Tampa 1.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can. And then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game, because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive, to achieve every goal we aim for, because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
We head to the top half of the third, tied at 1. Tampa and Rollins in this winner's bracket game. Adams Torres, Jesslyn Whitehead, and Ryan Coleman, the 2, 3, and 4 hitters, will be up this inning. We talked earlier about Rollins' veteran coach, who's done such a great job through the years, Sjogren. Also, how about Joe Urso and the job he's done? 5 national championships in the last 17 years. First pitch comes in from Michael Paul as a strike. 8 NCAA titles for the school. The last, though, in 2019. They're hungry for another one.
It's the chase for 9 here in 2023, and it's another really good Spartan side as they hope to take the crown. But for now, they do have to escape the regional and get further than they did last year.
Joe Urso, 23 seasons, all 23 years, as that ball's grounded foul. All 23 years they have reached the NCAA tournament. That is so unbelievable. But what a job. He was an All-American player, played on a national championship team here at UT in 1992. 4-year starter at second base. He wears number 7. The number has been retired, as you mentioned yesterday. You can see it out on the right field wall along with number 1 and number 3 and number 22. And that pitch is fouled back. 1-2. The count. The Spartans have won 10 South Regional finals. They've won 10 championships in the South region. They were number 1 team in the country earlier this year. They're number 3 ranked right now. Foul and out of play. Still 1-2 to Adams Torres. Doubled into right center his first time. Back in the second, he was left stranded as the next 2 batters flew out. That pitch is off the plate, the curveball wide. It's 2-2. Scott Lynn along with Taylor Stolworthy. Good to have you with us here. Hope you're enjoying the game. It's a beautiful day for baseball, for goodness sake. Ground ball out to Urso. Picks it up on the second hop. Came up to him nicely. He fires across to Earhart. Out number 1. And that'll bring Whitehead to the plate.
I just got to mention, apart from the solid defense, solid bats all season for the Spartans, the infield always has some incredible defense. Lala doing a great job over at, or Urso doing a great job over at short. Saladino always very consistent at second. Earhart, the Swiss Army knife. He can play literally everywhere on the field. He's been at the catcher. He's been at second. And for majority of the season, he's been at first. And, of course, at third, Anthony Nunez was on the All-Sunshine State Conference defensive team. So not a surprise to see Tampa making another infield play that is routine look even more routine.
First pitch fouled back. Whitehead swings and hits a drive to deep left center field. This ball has a chance. Nope, it's off the wall. Just missed hitting it out. He will cruise into second base with a stand-up double. He did not miss by much.
Very close, and the consolation prize for not getting a home run is just a very nice gap double, the second extra base hit of the ball game for Rollins. And that is a really good hit there from Jesslyn Whitehead. And I know his brother, who had pitched a really good game against the Spartans last season in the Super Regional, will certainly be watching with a smile on his face.
Whitehead with his 14th double of the season. And here comes Ryan Coleman. Pitch just off the plate. 1 ball, no strikes. Coleman flew to left to end the first. Torres was stranded at third in that inning. And 5 hits already, and we're only in the third. Michael Paul trying to avoid the bats, but they're swinging him pretty well. 2-0 the count now on Coleman. Meehan on deck. He singled his first time up. Here's the 2-0. Wide, it's 3-0.
Puts a runner aboard. It opens up the double play opportunity to start at third, second, or first. But obviously, it then puts another runner on the base paths, which you might not want to do.
Here comes the 3-0, and it's called low, apparently. Ball 4. So there is a walk. The left-handed hitting Coleman walks down to first. That'll bring up the right-handed hitting Meehan. So to your point, they do have a better chance of getting the double play here in the righty-on-righty situation with Michael Paul against Cam Meehan. Meehan singled and scored. He has scored the only run of the game thus far for the Tars. Jamarcus Lyons accounted for the Tampa run with a home run. Foul ball, out of play. First pitch was a fastball. Mason Wilson stands on deck, the designated hitter.
I'll say it's unfortunate we don't have the pitch count here. We can't tell exactly how far Paul has gone. But I definitely imagine that Rollins working long counts and, of course, drawing walks in a spot like this, certainly going to limit the amount of time that they have to face Paul on the mound and get Tampa to jump to their bullpen a little earlier than maybe Coach Urso was hoping to.
That pitch was inside, so it's 1-1. Here comes Paul's next pitch. Tapped foul, out of play. Check swing, and it went over the top of the screen. So now 1 strike away from trying to get Meehan to sit down without putting the bat on the ball. 1-2 the count. Whitehead leads away from second. Coleman leads away from first. Tie game 1-1 here in the top half of the third in Tampa. Here comes the pitch. It's high and wide. 2-2 the count. Meehan out of Orlando, Florida, Timber Creek High School. Really a wide pitch there. He tried to get him to chase, and he did not do so. So it's 3-2 now. Let's see if they start the runners. I doubt it, but you never know.
Browns are aggressive in the base path. Wouldn't be surprised.
Not running, swing, and a foul tip. Just got a piece of it, and Gutcher could not squeeze it. So Meehan stays alive.
I have a feeling if Paul doesn't do a more active check back at Whitehead or Coleman, the runners might decide to go. They like to run when the pitcher isn't fully focused on them.
Here comes the 3-2 from Michael Paul. Meehan checking. Now pitches. They are running, and it's tapped foul. Well, they decided, why not? John Sjogren, the head coach, many-year, great veteran. There's so many career wins here with these two head coaches. They've both been around a long time and have had a lot of success. Joe Urso for Tampa, John Sjogren for Rollins. Let's see if they start again on a 3-2 pitch. Here it comes. No, instead they throw it. Oh, boy, that was a dangerous throw. I think Michael Paul was afraid that he might be called for a balk if he didn't throw. So he did throw, but it was rather weak.
Yeah, certainly. That was definitely a type of case if you wanted to see if he could catch the runner going on any form of movement there. So that's why he just did a little limp throw back to second. And good news is that both Saladino and Urso were there.
3-2 pitches fouled back and out of play, so we'll do it again. The runners were again on the move. Both of these teams won big yesterday. Valdosta State fell to Rollins College 18-7. Tampa beat Spring Hill College 17-2. This game, you knew it was going to be much tighter and much more low scoring. And that pitch is wide. Again, trying to get the slider going, but he has missed a couple of times wide with that. And now the bases are full. And the Tars send Mason Wilson, the designated hitter, to the plate.
And here comes Sam Militello out to the mound. They just want to talk with Paul really quickly to try to help him get out of the jam. I also have a feeling we'll see some stretching and tossing over in the bullpen for the Spartans. I don't think you need to pull the emergency cord yet and get Paul out of the pool, but obviously you need to keep an eye on him. His pitch count is going to be skyrocketing after this inning, and he's going to encounter some of the same problems he had in his earlier start against Rollins.
Sam Militello, the longtime pitching coach, he's been with Joe Urso all 23 years that they've been here. And I said, boy, he said, yeah, I came with him at the start. He goes, actually, if truth be told, I was here 2 weeks ahead of him. I got on campus 2 weeks, so I have seniority. I said, yeah, I bet that goes nowhere with the head coach, right?
Yeah, a coach like Urso, he's not going to take that. But also one thing as well for Sam Militello, his number's retired in center field as well, number 22.
Yep. He
also
pitched
played
for the Yankees for a time. I've got his baseball card, as a matter of fact, in my card collection. Here comes Michael Paul's pitch. The first one is fouled back by Mason Wilson. Wilson struck out his first time. That was just last inning. As the Tars have had a lot of runners on the bases, and they have 3 out there right now. Here's the pitch again, trying to hit that corner with a slider, and he missed wide again. It's just not going where he wants it to. Count even at 1. Bases full. Tie game. Pitches upstairs. The fastball missed, and Michael Paul, nothing coming easy for him right now. The 2-1 pitch is just a little bit low. And it's 3-1, and there's no place to put him.
You just have to throw a strike at this point if you're Michael Paul. You can't walk or run. That's the big thing with the bases loaded. You're not going to get a better matchup with Thies. If you walk him, you're just going to be giving Rollins the lead.
The 3-1 pitch, fouled back and out of play. Might have been above the letters, but Mason Wilson was trying to do some serious damage. Instead, it's strike 2, and it's a full count. Well, the runners won't be going this time, I'm going to say. Not on a 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss! And that's why. They would have run into the inning-ending double play.
Yep, or they would have been, there would have been a quick little pickle, I think, over at third base if Whitehead was already running towards home.
So Mason Wilson fans for the second straight inning, and that makes it a 2-out, bases-loaded situation for Jimmy Thies. He popped to short his first time up. Thies only hitting .242. That pitch just misses, ball 1. And again, I know he's struggled a bit and maybe not gotten a call or two, but Michael Paul needs to pitch to Jimmy Thies. You do not want to have Parker Smith come up next. There's a shot into left field. Getting a slow start, the left fielder gets over there and makes the grab. I'll tell you, Lala did not see it off the bat. He was standing there for a good second, I think, and then managed to get over there and make the grab. So the Tars, no runs, 1 hit, a couple of walks, 3 men left on base. They have stranded 5, and through 2.5 innings here in Tampa, it's the Tars of Rollins 1.
A return to normal and all we love about sports.
You've instilled resilience, focus, and selflessness in us. We've put those lessons to work.
We've found strength and unity in each other.
You continue to take us places we never imagined.
You bring out the best in us.
So when we look forward, we see the light at the end of the tunnel.
We see a better world for all of us and for college sports.
We head to the bottom half of the third, tie game here in Tampa. The Spartans and the Tars of Rollins tied at 1. You know, coming into this game, Michael Paul had pitched 13 innings in the month of May, and they were all shutout innings. He hadn't allowed a run. That was broken up in the second inning, however. And even though he's given up 5 hits in this game and a couple of walks, he's managed to only allow the 1 run. He's dodged the bullet several times, and now we head to the bottom of the third, and Jordan Lala, who made the running catch down the left field line in the corner just off the foul line, is the leadoff man. First pitch is a strike. Here comes pitch number 2, and it's low. Ball 1. Berger has done a nice job. The only mistake he's made, really, was that home run to Jamarcus Lyons. A line drive shot to left center. 2 balls and a strike. Lala, we mentioned earlier, an on-base percentage of over 500. That'll get you going. That pitch misses inside. 3-1.
The first pitch strike was very close. It could have been a 4-pitch walk for Lala, but instead we'll see a 3-1 coming up from Berger.
That pitch is
low for ball 4.
It is low. I was going to wait because I thought maybe the umpire was going to do a slow call for a strike because it looked pretty good, but it was just apparently low, and Lala is on. The leadoff man aboard for the first time today for the Spartans, and here comes Drew Earhart. 2 home runs yesterday. Unbelievable game. 5 for 6, 5 runs batted in, scored 3 runs, throw to first, runner back.
Now, Joe Urso, despite having one of the best offensive teams in the nation, is a pretty big fan of small ball. So what I'm expecting here from Drew Earhart is for him to lay down a bunt, and it doesn't look like Thies is necessarily ready for it.
Well, he's in front of the bag. He shows bunt, and Thies was coming charging pretty hard once Earhart showed bunt. He took it for a ball.
And now he'll start a little closer to the infield grass this time. But back before, he was closer to the third base-like path.
Yeah, but he's thinking bunt, too. I think he read your mind. There's, again, the throw to first. Diving back in safely is Lala. Earhart was hit by a pitch in the first, and he was stranded there as Urso and Cumbo were both struck out by Berger. 1-0 pitch showing bunt, and now looks to hit, but takes it outside. That's one of those where you show bunt, everybody's charging, and you slap it right by him.
Yeah, pretty useful, and Earhart's got the ability to do just that.
Berger comes into the game 3-4 with a 3.18 earned run average. The throw to first, the runner back in safely. None of those have been particularly close over at first, but they are telling Jordan Lala, we know that you like to run. And that pitch is in there for a strike. 2 balls, 1 strike. Lala leads the team with 32 steals, but he has been caught 8 times. Throw to first, diving back in, Lala again. They're really paying attention to him. College baseball does not have the rule like the major leagues does that you can only throw to first base 2 times and engage the base runner. He is running. Ground ball up the middle. Oh, it's right to the guy, and he steps on the base. The shortstop, Rubin, was coming over to take the throw on an attempted steal, and the ball went right at him, stepped on the bag, and completes the 6-3 double play.
That's really unlucky because I'm not sure if Torres or Rubin would have been able to get that if they weren't moving for the stolen base. So in a way, the hit and run has ultimately led to a hit and double play.
Only the 6th time this year that Earhart's hit into a double play. And here is Urso, called out on strikes his first time up. Pitch is low, 1-1. J.D. Urso. If you're from Rollins watching this game and don't know, it is, yes, Joe Urso's son at the plate. Swing and a miss. 1-2 the count. What looked to be a promising inning, or at least had a good start, is suddenly snuffed out by that 6-3 double play. There's a drive into center field, right center. On his horse, making the catch is Meehan. A well-hit ball by Urso, but it's no runs, no hits, a walk, a double play, nobody left on. We've played 3 in Tampa, and we'll be turning the microphone over to my broadcasting partner, Taylor Stolworthy. When we come back, it's tied 1-1, Tampa and Rollins.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Pledge.
I pledge. I am an NCAA student athlete.
And I pledge to be a champion of unity
on my team, on my campus, and in my community.
I pledge to embrace differences and strive for inclusion and collaboration.
I pledge to stand against racism, hate, and discrimination.
I pledge to strive for love, care, and forgiveness.
I pledge to stand against silence, deceit, and obscurity.
I pledge to strive for dialogue, truth, and understanding.
I pledge to stand against fear and doubt.
I pledge to strive for trust and belief in one another.
I pledge to stand against complacency and stagnancy.
I pledge to strive for change and growth.
I commit to supporting my fellow student athletes in all circumstances that impact them.
I commit to both choosing unity personally and encouraging it for all.
I pledge these things because we are stronger together.
United as one.
And we're about ready to go here in the top of the fourth. Taylor Sorley alongside Scott Lynn. It's the regional day 2, game 2, part of the winner's bracket. The winner will go on to play the afternoon game on Saturday against the winner of Saturday's morning game. Rollins and Tampa won their game 1s, and they're also tied at 1 as this first pitch by Smith is popped up. One away, good catch by Saladino.
Boy, that stayed up a long time, didn't it?
Certainly did, and you have to brave the sun for all that time as well. So certainly not the easiest of catches to make. It was headed right to Saladino, though. He didn't need to run to get it. One away for Sarangar. He had an RBI single back in the second. It brought home Rollins' only run of the ball game so far. Michael Paul looking to continue here on the mound. He'd love a quick fourth inning as he tries to go a longer distance than he had earlier in the season against Rollins. His pitch count is going to be up there, though, because Rollins have had a lot of offense. They've had 5 hits, and they've actually stranded 6 runners.
That was the first slider that broke across for a strike. Might be a good sign for Paul, hopefully.
Certainly is, and getting that first pitch first out certainly should help him, too. Just get the first out of the inning very quickly will be beneficial. As did he offer? No, but Sarangar was thinking about it. The count goes 2-1 now. Taken low for ball 3. Those calls have not gone either team's way today. And while I think Berger's been helped a little more often than Paul in terms of balls to strikes, hitters have certainly been taking advantage of the count and the zone. Hit over to third, and it's an easy play for Nunez for the second out of the inning. 2 away, and that'll bring up Ruben back from the top of the order. An update over at the Nemoli Family Stadium for the softball Super Regional. Nova Southeastern currently leads 2-0 against the Spartans in the if-needed Game 3. Tampa won earlier today to force it, and now the winner would go on to the national championships.
Was that early in the game?
Yeah, but still early in the game, bottom of the second. Tampa's a chance to respond. But obviously not great to be trailing early against a team that Spartan fans should know very well from last season's regional. It was Nova Southeastern who beat the Spartans in this winner's game, and the Spartans had to come back with 2 very close victories to take the series. Count goes 2-0 to Ruben. Swing and a miss, 2-1.
Rollins lost 3 straight to end the regular season and could have come into the tournament on a bit of a downer, but they bounced back with that big lopsided win over Spring Hill or Valdosta State yesterday.
I agree, and that was very important for them to get that 8-run first inning, really get the bats alive. And
first guy hit a home run, no less. I mean, they got off to a great start.
Of course, although they did have a hiccup about a few innings afterwards, Valdosta State actually had the bases loaded when they were trailing 4. But ultimately, Rollins had held on, as this one's going to be caught in center field by Cadenas. Very long chase. And Paul will get a 1-2-3 inning. That'll be good news for him. Good news for the Spartans. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th. No runs, no hits, no errors. No one left the board.
For college sports.
There's light at the end of the tunnel.
A return to normal, and all we love about sports.
You've instilled resilience, focus, and selflessness in us. We've put those lessons to work.
We've found strength and unity in each other.
You continue to take us places we never imagined.
You bring out the best in us.
So when we look forward, we see the light at the end of the tunnel.
We see a better world for all of us and for college sports.
It's always interesting to see similarities from one year to the next. Tampa facing a Sunshine State Conference school in this pivotal Game 2 on Day 2 of the regional. And, of course, Valdosta State and Spring Hill faced each other, but that result was different with the Badgers moving on. And, Scott, I know you've got some more info about Spring Hill.
Yeah, well, Spring Hill, again, we had that bad injury yesterday. Jackson Bell, one of their star players, appeared badly injured. We thought it looked like a serious ankle injury. It was. I talked to him. He was here at the game, at the end of their game here earlier today.
As this one's blooped by Cumbo for out number 1 down the third base line.
And he showed up here after having surgery today. So he is out, obviously, for the year, and he still has another year of eligibility. Jackson Bell, when he showed up after the game, he hadn't been here the whole game. He got here just at the end, and all the players came out, saw Jackson Bell. They surrounded him like, the hero that he has been for this team, and it was really kind of cool to see. And I asked him, I said, so you're going to be back for another year? And he goes, yeah, at least one. I might get 2. So I'm not sure how the injury and COVID situations work, but he might have 2 more years left.
That would certainly be good, and I know Spring Hill will be excited if he can get a second year back with the Badgers. But, yeah, certainly a shame for him to end the season like this. I know it's not the way he wants to end it, but I think Spring Hill was able to motivate around that fact to get their first regional victory here in D2. The count is going to go 2-0 now for Nunez, and this one's going to be popped up. Tracking it, Ruben. 2 away.
Yeah, they've had some serious injuries. I mean, they, in fact, have been riddled by the injuries here. I mean, number 1, Jackson Bell's big injury in the first inning of the game yesterday, top of the first. But then today's starting pitcher, it was Roccabella, who was warming up the bullpen. He threw 3 pitches, and he told the coach, I can't pitch today. I'm hurt. And so they had it delayed the start of the game a bit, I was told. And so they had to have another pitcher come in. They ended up winning that game 5-4, so they are headed to a game tomorrow. But, yesterday's starter, Logan Clark, we watched him pitch. He'd been very effective all year, but interestingly, I was told by one of the fans here, I don't know if it's inside information I should be sharing, but he said, he's had a shoulder injury, maybe a partially torn tendon.
Oof.
And he said that he pitched yesterday saying, I may have made it a little worse, but he goes, I wanted to go out on my own terms on the mound because he is a senior, not with no eligibility left. But he had coming off a gutsy 2-hit, 7-inning win in the SIAC tourney over top-seeded Albany State. So that shows a lot of courage, a lot of guts, and what kind of competitor he is.
Yeah, it's always great to have a player who's really willing to put his body on the line for the team, as Lions can't replicate his home run back in the second as he grounds out over to third. Good recovery by Thesis. He initially dropped it. And, well, Berger has a quick 1-2-3 inning. We could talk a little more about Spring Hill right after the break. Top of the 5th will be up next. We're still tied here at the University of Tampa. Top of the fifth, and Paul is ready to continue. We just had a 1-2-3 inning on the mound, although that was also followed up by Berger getting a 1-2-3 inning on the mound. Still tied at 1 here about halfway through the ball game.
I think both head coaches knew what they were doing when they put these two pitchers out here in this important game.
They know that they can get some great innings out of them, and obviously they're still going to be saving their best for last. Canny will likely get the outing tomorrow, whether it's in that first matchup of the championship at 5 or in a winner or go home at 1, depending on the outing and outcome of this game as Torres grounds out to start the inning. That'll bring up Whitehead. I briefly mentioned Whitehead. His brother, Jalen Whitehead, had pitched a great game last season against the Spartans in the Super Regional. It was their duo, number 12 and number 13, that was a serious thorn in the Spartans' side, leading to our early elimination in the Super Regional. Whitehead doubled last time in the third inning. He got stranded over at third. Ball 1 going low for Michael Paul. Yeah, we were talking, Scott, in the last inning about Spring Hill's ace who had been fighting and dealing with an injury. It kind of got me thinking about Pedro Martinez, where during one crucial playoff series, he came in from the bullpen and went 6 innings of no-hit baseball to play, just help the Red Sox go out on his own terms, and it actually went a lot better, but he was doing the same thing, risking potential future injury for that. And also a reason I was bringing up Pedro Martinez is because one of the players from Lynn is actually one of Pedro Martinez's sons.
Oh, wow.
So we were able to, Jack and I were able to talk to him before one of the games of the series, and it was really cool to get to meet him. I think he had a couple solid at-bats against us, too. Count's going to go 3-1. Paul working his way back into the count after falling behind early.
Paul's retired 6 in a row, which is a whole lot different than the way this game started.
Yeah, certainly. It's good to see Paul kind of back on track to the standard Paul that Urso and the rest of the fans know and love. Very active fans here for the Spartans earlier in the game. We heard them doing a Let's Go Tampa chant, but obviously in the middle innings, you might get a little quieter. Fans save their energy for the end. Full count here for Whitehead. He's going to bloop this one to right, and it will get down. Cumbo was playing deep, ready for a long fly ball, and that unfortunately keeps him a little out of position as this one drops for a 1-out base hit.
That was a great job of hitting by Whitehead. That was an excellent pitch by Paul. He had it down low, outside, might have not even have been a strike, but Whitehead went out there and just put the bat on the ball with just enough to lift it over the first baseman's head and into right field.
It's always a good feeling when you can get a bloop into no man's land because you know it equally stings for the pitcher. He knows he got weak contact. He knows he got a good outcome on the pitch, but it's just with the way the ball will sometimes fall. Coleman at the plate. The lefty got walked in the third inning.
Yeah, you just give Whitehead credit on that one. Nothing Michael Paul could do there except get it back and go to work.
And he's already gone to work, getting ahead in the count. We're going 1-1 here. Taken low for ball 2. They have the double play opportunity, and the infield's actually shifted over to the right. You see Urso kind of hovering at second. Saladino playing a bit further as well. As the swing and miss here from Coleman puts him down 2-2.
Coleman's a Tampa kid, went to Calvary Christian High School.
So a hometown showdown for Coleman here. And he is ready to go. Swings and a miss. Michael Paul gets his third strikeout of the game. And there's 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. Brings up Meehan. He got on board to load the bases with a walk in the third inning. He would get stranded, though. He's reached base twice, and he's scored once. First pitch here from Michael Paul. Taken low for ball 1.
Meehan's .427 on base percentage coming into the game was the best among the regular players out there. There are some players that have higher percentage, but they're part-timers. But he's been very effective. Leads the team in walks and runs scored. Triples with 3.
He's going to send this one to center field. Tracking it is Cadenas. Will he be able to get it? It's going to go off the wall, and the signal is that is over. A 2-run shot to put Rollins back into the lead. That is exactly what they needed. They wanted Meehan to get on base. He responds with his 9th home run of the season. It went off the top of the wall, but that was enough to keep it over for a home run. And that was a good line shot that had enough juice to get over. And that'll certainly make the other 2-out hits sting a little more, because it now will bring a second run home on the play and put Rollins up 3-1.
Well, conference on the mound right here. You wonder if they're maybe getting somebody ready, loose in the bullpen.
Wouldn't be surprised that was the case. Paul's gone deep into the game. And, of course, he's had a couple long innings. As that brings up Wilson, who struck out twice today. Wouldn't be surprised if entering the 6th they make a change. But for now, it looks like Urso's content at just keeping Paul in. We didn't see him or Militello come to the mound. It was just simply an infield little meeting.
Again, that slider off the plate, just having trouble locating it.
Yeah, and it's tough because he's not getting any benefit of the doubt from the umpire. A very hitter-friendly zone today. And that's been the case for Berger, too, when you have any of those low pitches. And it's kind of tough for Paul. He's worked a lot of the pitches low, and that's, I think, a reason he's falling behind in the counts. 2-1 here. Wilson a line drive. It's a base hit. Will he stay at first? Lyle's on top of it, and yes, he will.
On the season, Michael Paul gives up about 1 hit per inning. That's on the season. Today, he's given up 8 hits, and we're in the 5th.
Certainly, the Rollins players have been able to find ball to bat against him. He's worked his way out of most jams. But, of course, here in the top of the 5th, 2 runs have come home so far. He's just going to want to get out with a facing off against Thies here, who's also 0 for 2. Although he might not get the chance. Here comes Joe Urso to the mound, and usually an Urso visit is followed by a pitching change. And yeah, he's taking a look over, and that will be the day for Michael Paul. He's gone 4 2/3, 3 strikeouts. He's gotten out of a lot of situations, but for now, he'll have to end on this note. Another good outing, and we might see him make another appearance this weekend, but for now, Tampa trails, and there will be a change. We'll be back with more Spartans baseball. It's the NCAA Regional.
Number 32, Kyle Hornsby. Inside the 30, touchdown. Michaela Burgess. An incredible finish by Hall.
The NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org/opportunity.
College sports.
There's light at the end of the tunnel.
A return to normal, and all we love about sports.
You've instilled resilience, focus, and selflessness in us. We've put those lessons to work.
We've found strength and unity in each other.
You continue to take us places we never imagined.
You bring out the best in us.
So when we look forward, we see the light at the end of the tunnel.
We see a better world for all of us and for college sports.
Paul Sullivan comes to the mound. He'll replace Michael Paul. Sullivan enters with a 3.19 ERA in 31 innings, 37 strikeouts to 7 walks. That's a very good above 5 K to walk ratio. And you certainly want him to come in here, throw strikes, and get outs.
Sullivan played 4 years at Iona University before coming to Tampa. 6'2", 200-pound right-hander.
And Sullivan will get the call here. Try to get out of the inning. Runner on first, a 2 away. A few 2-out base hits in a row have put Rollins aboard, including a 2-run home run by Meehan. That brings up Thies, who's 0 for 2. Let's give you a quick update as well for Spartans softball. They have 2 aboard with 1 away. A chance to try to tie the game. They still trail 2-0. We'll give you those periodic updates, as that is the Super Regional. across campus. Here's the first pitch from the bullpen for Paul Sullivan. Strike one taken. Good sinking action on that two-seamer. Breaking into the zone. Checks to first in a pickoff throw, but Wilson is safe. Swing and a miss. It's 0-2. He's quickly ahead here. He's got a chance to get that final out. Swung on and missed. That looked to be a changeup that time, and the change has given the Spartans a bit of an uptick in form. They'll get out of the inning. However, 2 runs come home on 3 hits, mainly that home run by Meehan. 1 will get stranded, and Rollins take a 3-1 lead entering the bottom of the 5th.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's will you?
Gutcher leads off. He flew out in the second inning.
The book is complete on Michael Paul. He went 4 2/3 innings, gave up 8 hits, 3 runs, all earned, walked 2, struck out 3. And, of course, the big blow was that home run, a 2-run shot by Cam Meehan in the top half of the 5th. You know, they out-hit Tampa 8-2. It feels like it should be. It's more of a lopsided game than the scoreboard actually indicates right now.
Yeah, and that's because Paul was really able to get out of a few jams. He's they've been able to help leave Rollins have Rollins have had stranded 7 runners. And actually, I'm going to hand it back over to you for a minute.
We'll continue on here. That pitch is off the plate, ball 2. I'm going to take over here for a moment for Taylor. No problem. Here comes the 2-0 pitch to Danny Gutcher. It's in there for a strike. Gutcher trying to get on to bring the tying run to the plate, and he taps it foul down the third baseline. 3 balls and a strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes, I should say. I stand corrected. Here's the pitch, and it's tapped on one big hop to the third baseman. The throw across Thies to Whitehead, and that's the first out of the 5th inning. Nico Saladino coming to the plate. The Spartans with just 2 hits. One of them was a home run by Jamarcus Lyons back in the second. It tied the game at 1 after Rollins had scored in the top half of the inning. But again, Rollins has only had 1-2-3 inning. They've been all over the base paths today as that pitch is swung on and missed by Saladino. Cadenas is on deck. The 7, 8, and 9 hitters this inning. That pitch is in there for a strike call. 2 strikes and nothing. Saladino swings. He chased one up above the letters, I believe, and he is down on strikes. 4th strikeout of the game for Berger. And now with 2 away, here comes Cadenas. You know, interestingly, the Spartans have 7 players that were named to the all-region team, the South all-region team, and Rollins had 2. They were both second-teamers. There were 7 players from Tampa, 5 on the first team. Canny, Ross, Urso, Cumbo, and Lala. On the second team were Michael Paul and Drew Earhart. The second team members for, as a swing and a miss right there. No balls, 2 strikes. Rollins, Parker Smith, and Adams Torres were the second team All-South region players. But right now, here in the regional, which is where it really matters, it is Rollins leading 3-1, and there's a ground ball to third. A 2-hop backhand scoop, toss across in time. A very nice play by Thies, and Whitehead flips the ball in the air back to the mound as a 1-2-3 inning has come to an end. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We have played 5 in Tampa. Rollins 3, Tampa 1.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
To the top of the 6th here in Tampa, the Spartans of UT trail Rollins College 3-1. In this inning, it'll be Smith, Sarangar, and Rubin, the 8, 9, and 1 hitters. Talking about some of the all-conference honors and so forth, the all-South region I mentioned a moment ago, but the all-SSC baseball team, Whitehead and Torres from Rollins, along with Edward Berry, the pitcher, were all first-team all-SSC. Earhart, Cumbo, the player of the year, Lala, Canny, the pitcher of the year, and Dalton Ross were all first-teamers for Tampa. There were second-teamers as well after this pitch. Whoa, it's inside, and it hit the batter as Paul Sullivan threw it high and tight, and Smith really didn't try to get out of the way all that much, but he's feeling the pain for that. The second team All-SSC announced this week, Parker Smith, Ryan Coleman, and Nick Berger of Tampa. Of Rollins. And for Tampa, J.D. Urso, Danny Gutcher, and Michael Paul. We mentioned the all-defense team, Nunez and Paul of Tampa, and Whitehead of Rollins on the SSC honors. So these two teams well represented as they were the elite teams in the SSC this year, the Sunshine State Conference. That ball, a curveball, in across the plate for a strike. Sarangar singled in the first, stole the base, grounded out in the fourth. That pitch is on the outside corner at the knees. Beautiful pitch. Paul Sullivan with a tantalizing pitch right there. He's ahead 2-0 on Sarangar. Here's the pitch. Swung on, hit into right field, coming hard in a hurry. It's not going to be able to make the play. Cumbo picks it up on a hop, throws to third, and diving in safely is Smith, and Sarangar on the throw moves up to second base. So, 2 runners in scoring position with nobody out here in the 6th as the Tars threaten to increase their advantage. Top of the order now, Joey Rubin. Rubin is 0 for 3 in this game, and he takes a first pitch strike. Rubin came into the game hitting .324, but 0 for 3 so far. Spartans want to keep those runners right where they are. The infield is in. A swing and a miss. Took a little something off that one, and it's 2-0. Now the key for Paul Sullivan is to be near the plate, but not necessarily over the plate. Make that hitter extend the zone a bit. Here it comes. 2-strike pitch, swung on and tapped towards third. It's foul. Count remains 2-0 to Joey Rubin. Adams Torres is on deck. Torres has a double today and grounded out a couple of times. So let's see what happens here. Strike. Nope, just off the plate. And maybe a little upstairs as well, but it was definitely off the plate for ball one. Joey Rubin. And now Sullivan walks off the mound to get a little rosin on his hand. Rubin out of Charlton, Massachusetts, 5'9", a sophomore. Here's the pitch, swung on and skied into deep center field. Going back and over is Cadenas. He makes the catch. Both runners tag. The throw is coming to third, and getting in safely there is Sarangar. And a run scores, and it's 4-1 Rollins on the sacrifice fly as Rubin does a great job down 0-2. Finally worked the count to 1-2 and got the fly ball that drove in a run. Runner still at third, and the infield will stay in, I'm sure, at this point. 4-1. One away. The pitch is lined over the drawn-in J.D. Urso as Torres singles in the fifth run of the game for the Rollins Tars. A line shot. And they are doing what they did, actually, in April. March 31st and April 1st, they won the first two games 5-3 here on this field against Tampa in the regular season SSC matchup. Tampa did come back to win the final game 6-4, but right now Tampa in trouble, down 5-1, and there's a ground ball to Urso. Let's see if they can get two. To second for one. Here's the throw to first, and just in time to get Whitehead, who had singled and doubled his last two times to the plate, but a 6-4-3 double play. Urso to Saladino to Earhart ends the top half of the sixth. But 2 runs scored, 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. We've played 5.5 here in Tampa. It's Rollins 5, Tampa 1. We head to the bottom of the sixth here in Tampa. The Spartans have only 2 hits so far today. Rollins, 5 runs, 10 hits, no errors. Tampa, 1 run, 2 hits, no errors. And it's the top of the order. This is the inning that Spartans need to get something going. It's Lala, Earhart, and Urso, 1, 2, and 3. And the first pitch is in there for a strike from Nick Berger, who has been really, really good today. Has only allowed a hit in 1 inning. He gave up 2 hits in the second. The home run to Jamarcus Lyons, and then a 2-out base hit by Saladino. But that's been it. He's walked 1 and hit 1, but he has been tough today. That pitch is just a little bit outside, perhaps a tad low as well. 2 balls and a strike. Jordan Lala.
Tampa need to do something here against Berger. Otherwise, Berger might be able to go the distance. He's kept his count somewhat low, and he's really avoided a lot of troubles. He's only conceded 3 base runners, I think, apart from maybe 1 hit by pitch.
3-1 the count, and that pitch is low, ball 4, and that's how it gets started here in the sixth. The second time that Lala has led off an inning with a walk. Last time, Earhart hit into a 6-3 double play as Lala was started on a hit and run. The ball was grounded up the middle right to the shortstop, Rubin, who was covering second base. He stepped on the bag and tossed across to first for a quick 6-3 double play. Lala, the leading base stealer, but down 4 runs, probably not going right here. Takes ball 1, does Earhart. He was hit by a pitch in the first and again grounded into the double play. Earhart with a 5-for-6 game yesterday, but he needs to get one here to get Tampa started. And now coming out to talk is the pitching coach. That is Patrick Zerba, associate head coach. And he will have a word or two. Just wants to probably settle down Berger, who, as you said a moment ago, has had his way. He's now walked Lala twice, his only 2 walks. He does have the 1 hit by pitch of Earhart in the first, and then just the 2 singles. So not a lot of base runners. As you mentioned, the pitch count is down. But right now, he wants to make very sure that Nick Berger's feeling okay. There's nobody warming up in the bullpen. This is just a calm down situation, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Just wanting to make sure he's feeling all right. He's opened up with 5 balls and 1 strike to start the inning, and just wants to make sure he's doing A-okay, and I don't think we'll actually see someone warming up unless Berger asks to. He's done a great job, and yeah, it's also for the rest of the team. Just get them focused and make sure they don't get complacent. It's easy to get very confident when you're able to chain 2-run innings back-to-back, but obviously there's still quite a bit of game left to be played. At the very least, the Spartans have 12 outs remaining.
So here comes Drew Earhart. Second pitch is a ball. 2 balls, no strikes. Let's see if Earhart can work a walk, perhaps. He'll take a strike right down central. 2-1.
Earhart with the green light, just wants to make sure before he really starts to swing that Berger can put it over the zone still.
2-1 pitch. A curveball is a little bit high, and it's 3-1. So now Earhart can really be selective. If it's not his pitch, he can let it go by and perhaps draw a walk. Spartans need base runners, and they have one. Another one. A second consecutive walk. Earhart draws the free pass. 2 on, nobody out, and J.D. Urso, who lined to center field his last time up after being called out looking in the first.
I'll say a big thing as well is that it puts the tying run potentially on deck. This is exactly what the Spartans need just to get some base runners in position.
Urso's second team All-SSE this year, first team a year ago. He just wants to get on base somehow. Takes a strike, fastball. 1 strike and nothing. Urso in the hole. As Berger now trying to come back. He's walked the first 2 hitters here in the top of the 6th. Nobody in the bullpen, so right now it's still Berger, and he misses with that one. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Tampa fans a little bit quiet, but that's understandable. Down 4 to their Sunshine State Conference rival, the Rollins Tars.
I think they'll be getting louder as this inning continues, though. They've got 2 aboard to start.
Ball up high. 2 balls and a strike. He definitely does not look as sharp as we head through the lineup the 3rd time. He's walked Lala. He walked Earhart. And he's 2-1 now on Urso. And that pitch is high. Ball 3. 3-1 after back-to-back walks to start the inning. And the player of the year in the Sunshine State Conference is on deck in E.J. Cumbo. He would represent the tying run if Urso can get aboard. 3 balls, 1 strike. Here's Berger's pitch. It's on the corner for a strike.
Yeah, certainly
and 3-2.
Certainly a big pitch coming up here for J.D. Urso. He has a chance to potentially blow the game open here. Get maybe Lala trying to score from second, or just get on base with a walk and set it up for E.J. Cumbo.
3-2 pitch is strike three call for the second time today. J.D. Urso is caught looking. He thought it was maybe outside, maybe even high, but that's the same pitch I think he was called out on in the first.
Yeah, and it looked to be a strike, but yeah, very tough. And that's going to be very disappointing for the Spartans, but not going to be very nerve-easing for Rollins, as they still now have to deal with Cumbo and Nunez on deck.
Cumbo struck out and lined out, and he takes a pitch low, ball one. In fact, it wasn't that low. Sarangar looked like he double clutched before he threw the ball back to Berger. I think he thought that was a strike.
Yeah, certainly was pretty close.
1-0 the count. Cumbo hoping to come through for the Spartans. Takes a strike right down the middle.
That one was, I think, a little bit of an easier call there for a strike.
The Tars are at double play depth. The shortstop hedging a bit towards second base in case there's a relay up the middle. And here's the pitch, swung on and missed. It looked to me like Cumbo might have been trying to drive it through the hole into left field, but he did not connect, and it's 1-2. And Berger is one strike away from nearly being out of this jam. 5-1 Rollins on top. Tampa threatening with 2 on and 1 out here in the sixth inning. There's a drive into short right field. It's going to drop for a base hit. Rounding third and coming home, he will score is Lala. And it's first and second, and the tying run will come to the plate. It's a 5-2 ball game.
The top 5 in the order for the Spartans were hitless until that one play. Cumbo, when the team needed the most, has got aboard here with a single. He's driven home a run. And like you mentioned, it's the tying run that now rests in the bat of Anthony Nunez. And there is plenty of activity now over in the Rollins bullpen.
Yeah, they have one pitcher has been up for a short time, and I think they're going to get a second pitcher going down there as well. I see Austin Long heading to the bullpen as well. Another pitcher's been warming up for a bit. So here is the tying run at the plate in Nunez. He has struck out and popped out. 1 away. Again, the Tars at double play depth. A lot of room to the left side. If Nunez were to hit it towards where the shortstop normally positions himself. He's not swinging for the left fielder. He's swinging for the right fielder right there. He was trying to go deep. Swing and a miss. Count even at 1. 1 away. Berger slowing down his pace a bit. And he throws it, just missed. Again, Sarangar holds it there for a moment, hoping for a strike call. And one of the Rollins fans just below us is saying, hey, Blue, you missed one.
Yeah, you can certainly hear sometimes some of the fans. One of them is actually pretty close next to the window. You might be hearing a few claps as well as they cheer on Anthony Nunez.
2-1 pitch is way outside. Ball 3. Tying run at the plate in Nunez. Nunez has hit 6 homers this year. He's driven in 40 runs. He would love to get at least a base hit. Hey, he'll take a walk even at this point. Move the runners up 90 feet. That pitch is, he thought it was outside. It is called a strike, so the count goes full.
That's one that I think has been going the batter's way for most of the game, so interesting to see it go for strike 2 here. I'll be unlucky for Nunez. He was ready to take the walk, but now we've got a very high-pressure full count pitch.
Here's the 3-2, and it's hit in the air into short left field. Let's see if they can get to it. It's coming in as the left fielder to make the catch. Coleman, he had to come a long way. Initially, Ruben was going out. I didn't think he was going to get there, but Ruben was able to get under it as it hung up there long enough. So now 2 away, and here's Jamarcus Lyons representing the tying run. Drew Earhart hit 2 home runs yesterday. Wouldn't it be sweet, Tampa fans, if Mr. Lyons could hit 2 here today? Like 1 right now would be good. We would tie the game.
Yeah, right now would be very, very good for Tampa fans and for Rollins. they're saying, no, thank you. We definitely don't want that at the moment, as this first slider is going to miss for ball one.
So, Lions ahead in the count. It's early, but he's looking for a pitch to his liking. If he gets it, he will try to drive it. Curveball in for a strike. Beautiful pitch by Berger. 1-1. 2 on, 2 out. Bottom of the sixth, 5-2 ball game. Tying run at the plate, Jamarcus Lyons. Hit his 7th home run of the year. His first time up today, and he hits it sharply but foul. He's in the hole now, 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes. From the stretch, Berger checks the runner at second. Brings it home. Outside. Slider just missed off the plate. That's the same pitch that Michael Paul was having trouble getting over all game long, and it was always called a ball then. It was called a ball there. And so the deuces are wild. 2 on, 2 out, 2-2 count. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. The changeup fooled Lyons. I had mentioned his 2 favorite pitches are the fastball and the changeup. He went to the change, and he got Jamarcus Lyons to swing and miss. 1 run on 1 hit, 2 walks, 2 men left on base. We've played 6 in Tampa. It's Rollins 5, Tampa 2.
College sports.
There's light at the end of the tunnel.
A return to normal, and all we love about sports.
You've instilled resilience, focus, and selflessness in us. We've put those lessons to work.
We've found strength and unity in each other.
You continue to take us places we never imagined.
You bring out the best in us.
So when we look forward, we see the light at the end of the tunnel.
We see a better world for all of us and for college sports.
Six innings in the book. It is Rollins 5, Tampa 2. Rollins 5 runs, 10 hits. Tampa 2 runs on just 3 hits. Nick Berger has pitched very well, had his scariest inning this last inning. Walked the first 2 hitters, but managed to get out of it with only 1 run scoring. We head to the 7th inning now. It's Ryan Coleman, Cam Meehan, and Mason Wilson going up against Paul Sullivan, who got the final out in the 5th, striking out Jimmy Thies to end the inning, but then he gave up a couple of runs in his full inning in the 6th. First pitch is off the plate, ball 1.
The reason we see Sullivan back out here is probably because Urso's thinking ahead. They know that they're not going to be eliminated, and even though they should try to get back into the game, they can also save their bullpen and run maybe a bullpen game against Spring Hill tomorrow, and also preserve Caney for the potential second game against Rollins if they're able to eliminate the Badgers if they lose.
1-1 the count. Here's the pitch, swung on and grounded out to second base. Saladino, a little flip to first, 1 away. Yeah, Caney, the player of the year, the pitcher of the year, I should say, in the Sunshine State Conference. It will be interesting strategy-wise. You have to win. Mm-hmm. Now, again, as you're talking about, strategy would go into if Tampa loses, and again, there's still 3 innings, 9 outs to go before Tampa would have to give up the ghost. But Spring Hill has lost last year 35-4 to Tampa. All new team this year, but they did lose 17-2, as that pitch is inside, in the game yesterday. So Tampa has shown the ability to take care of themselves at the plate offensively, at least. And they might go to that bullpen game, as you were talking about. That pitch just misses inside, ball 2. And again, if you can, then you hold Caney to the must-win game, which would be the second game tomorrow night at 5 o'clock, correct?
Correct.
I'm not mistaken? Yeah.
And that is, of course, if Tampa loses, then if they could beat Spring Hill, they'd go up again against Rollins.
That pitch is in for a strike. Yeah, they would. You don't really want to lose. You don't want to lose, not in a double elimination tournament. If you do, you're not out the first time, but it makes the road very difficult. 2-1 pitch, swung on and missed.
Tampa's been able to travel that road before, but I do think they might not want to do it again.
There's a long way in this one, and this is not a blowout by any stretch of the imagination. The Spartans had the tying run at the plate. That pitch is bouncing in the dirt and away. 3-2 the count. Had the tying run at the plate with Nunez and Lyons unable to deliver. Here's the 3-2, and that ball is hit deep to left field. Over goes Lala, and he makes the catch. It was hit pretty well, but it was never really in any danger as Lala had it all the way.
Lala also had to take an extra second before chasing it, but he's got the speed that he can wait pretty late and come up and make those catches.
Well, you look at the shadows on the infield, and you can see, the sun is heading a little bit down in the sky behind us. It still won't sunset. Is an hour and a half away. Pitch, a curveball comes in there for a strike. Nice pitch. Mason Wilson, the batter, he's 1 for 3. But that's tough out there in left field right now. So I think he's had a tough time seeing the ball off the bat. That pitch is in there for a strike. No balls, 2 strikes, and the Tampa fans applauding the efforts of Paul Sullivan here in the 7th. Pitch way outside. No chase by Wilson. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. A strikeout. The second in the game for Paul Sullivan in a 1-2-3 inning. 3 up, 3 down. Nothing doing in the 7th for the Tars. But Rollins has a 5-2 lead here at the 7th inning stretch.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can. And then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game, because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive, to achieve every goal we aim for, because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
We head to the bottom half of the 7th. We have a pinch hitter. Gutcher will leave the game as Santiago Garavito will bat for him here. Garavito will take over as catcher as well. A sophomore from Plantation, Florida, 5'11", 195 pounds. Garavito is batting .296 as he stands in. You lose some of the power, but you get a little bit more batting average here. And the Spartans need base runners. The first pitch to him by Nick Berger is down low.
Yeah, need base runners right. They've only been able to get a few on board. Their most recent inning was the first time they were able to get a seriously strong inning. And, well, this inning's going to have an even better start. Garavito responds with power. He must have heard what you said about having less power and drives a solo shot to right.
Home run for Garavito. That is a way to jumpstart things, is it not? Wow. Garavito was just his third home run of the year. Hit it right down the right field line, had just enough power to get it over the fence down there.
It was the first home game of the season. Garavito on his debut got the stadium here on a very bright light show as he hit a home run into the night sky. And of course, apart from the turf field, also the light system was upgraded here at the University of Tampa Stadium. And they were able to debut the home run lights on that opening night. It's kind of funny. The start of the season, Garavito gets a home run, and here late in the year, he gets another.
Saladino at the plate. 2 balls, no strikes. Action continues in the bullpen, and now the catcher, Sarangar, runs out to talk to his battery mate. So the home run makes it 5-3, and that is big because now, with still 9 outs to give, the Spartans find themselves needing only 1 base runner to bring the tying run to the plate. Again, Rollins beat Tampa 5-3 on March 31st on this field. They won again 5-3 on this field on April 1st in the first game of the doubleheader, and then the Spartans managed to avoid the sweep by winning 6-4. But 5-3 seems to be a familiar score here between these two teams.
It certainly has, and I know Tampa would like to make it a more unfamiliar score, 5-4 or 5-5. And actually, they were just giving more time from the bullpen. I think that will be it for Berger.
It will be, no doubt about it. There has been action in the pen for a while. And we will have a pitching change here.
Applause from the Rollins fans. 6 innings, 3 earned, 6 strikeouts, and 3 walks. A very good performance there from Berger to put Rollins in the position to win.
Well, I said that there would be a pitching change, but so far he has not signaled that, so maybe not. We saw the head coach come out as well, and I thought that was going to trigger the change, but John Sjogren is just talking to his team, perhaps trying to settle them down as the Spartans finally have the Tars within sight. When they were down 5-1, it didn't look good for the home team. And he does take the baseball now, and that's going to do it for Berger. Pitching change. We'll step aside and come back. The Spartans down 5-3, but with a 2-0 count on Saladino, he'll be facing a new pitcher when we return.
And actually, before we cut to the break, unfortunate news for Spartans fans. Nova Southeastern has completed a 2-0 victory over at the Namoli Family Stadium. They will advance to the national tournament, winning 2-run in the Super Regional Series.
We'll step aside and come back after we get you updated on the pitching change when we return. It's 5-3 here in the bottom of the 7th.
Number 32, Kyle Hornsby. Inside the 30. Touchdown. Michaela Burgess. Incredible finish by Hall.
The NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org/opportunity.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
The new pitcher for Rollins is Tate Stone Frasina, right-handed pitcher, a graduate student, 6'2", 185 pounds, out of Druid Hills, Georgia. He will enter the game with a 2-0 count on Saladino. And let's look at the numbers. Frasina, Stone Frasina, 6-1 on the year. He leads the team in victories with 6. 3.75 earned run average. He does have a team-high 5 saves as well. So, again, Rollins saying, we're not going to wait. We're bringing in the closer right now, and we'll see what we can get done here. But Stone Frasina is a guy who has walked 20 in his 50 innings, so he will walk a batter from now and then. And he has struck out 42 in 50 innings. So he is a guy who can miss the bat. 2 balls, no strikes is the count inherited working out of the stretch, even though there are no runners on base, and the first pitch is in there for a strike. Stone Fresina. If he were to walk him, it would actually go on the record of Berger. And that pitch is inside. 3-1 the count.
Yeah, indeed, 42 strikeouts to 20 walks is a pretty solid ratio to have, and you just want someone who can throw strikes and not concede too many base runners and just get the outs.
That pitch is in there for a strike. 20 walks in 50 innings is a little more than you'd want from your closer. That means he's putting a guy on base from time to time. And that pitch is just outside, apparently. Ball 4. And that, again, is the walk goes on the record of Berger. But, wow, that was a close one.
Certainly was. And here comes Jose Cadenas. He's 0 for 2 today, but oh boy, can Cadenas be a dangerous threat. Now, sometimes you'll see Urso go small ball and go for the bunt, but for Cadenas, it's really useful because he's a very fast player, second in stolen bases behind Jordan Lala.
Cadenas 4 for 5 yesterday with 4 runs batted in. He does lay it down. It's picked up. The throw to first is just in time. A big play by Sarangar. I thought he should have let it go foul, but because of the speed of Cadenas. But he does know what he's doing, and he made the play. The runner, Saladino, goes down to second.
Yeah, very close at first, and honestly, I couldn't tell if he was safe or not. And maybe it was just out by a quarter of a step, if so. I wouldn't have been surprised that if we did have the VAR system that you can check reviews in Major League Baseball and other major leagues, Urso would have probably wanted a check on the replay if there was. But nope, you can't check. You can't ask City Hall for a do-over, and it is one away. Although, it puts Saladino on second, so the sacrifice does the job.
Lala 1 ball, no strike. A base hit would bring the Spartans within 1. 1 away after the sacrifice. It was called a sacrifice, by the way, even though he was bunting for a hit. You could tell. That's in for a strike, 1-1. Lala has walked his last 2 times after lining out to center field to start the bottom of the first. 1-1 pitch. Here it comes. Outside. Tried the breaking ball. It didn't break in enough to get into the zone. It's 2-1. Nice to have you along, everybody. Scott Lynn along with Taylor Stolworthy bringing you the action here. Bottom of the 7th, 5-3. Rollins leading Tampa. Here comes the pitch. It's inside. Almost hit him. 3-1 the count. The tying run would be on first if Lala draws yet another free pass, and Earhart would be coming to the plate with a chance to put the Spartans ahead. He hit 2 homers yesterday. Here comes the 3-1. Tapped towards third. Runner has to hold. The throw across. Thies to Whitehead. Out number 2. So Earhart will come to the plate as the tying run. Earhart has been hit by a pitch, hit into a double play on what would have been a base hit had it not been a hit and run, and the shortstop covering second base ran right into the path of the baseball, caught it, stepped on the bag, and threw to first for a double play. And then Earhart walked his last time up in the 6th. Takes a first pitch strike. Rollins has some fans here, that's for sure. You can hear them down below and off to our right.
It's a good balance alongside the Spartans fans who've always showed up this season.
The 0-1 pitch. Ground ball through into left field. Rounding third and heading home and scoring without a play. It's now a 5-4 game. Saladino scores on the base hit by Earhart. 5-4, and here comes J.D. Urso with a chance to tie or put the Spartans ahead.
It's just what the Spartans needed. The second run of the inning after Garavito's leadoff home run. And I asked Carson Queso early in the season, who's the batter he'd least like to face in a tight spot? Well, it's Drew Earhart, and he's proving why right here to bring up J.D. Urso.
Urso takes a first pitch just low, ball one. Urso has been called out on strikes twice around the line out to center in the third. He's going to protect the plate in this situation. 5-4 game. The pitch swung on, grounded out to second base, scooped up out there by Torres over to Whitehead, and that'll end the inning. So Urso is now 0 for 4 on the day, but the Spartans scored 2 runs on 2 hits. There was a man left on base. We are through 7 here in Tampa. It's now a real ball game as Rollins' lead has been cut to 1. It's Rollins 5, Tampa 4 here in the South Regional. You're listening on the SSC Digital Network.
This is the University of Tampa. Explore your dreams. Discover your talents. Get ready to invent, innovate, and be a leader. This is the University of Tampa.
So we're through 7 and we head to the top half of the 8th. It's a 5-4 ball game now as the Spartans have closed the gap. And back on the hill goes Paul Sullivan. Had a 1-2-3 inning in the 7th. He'll face the 7, 8, and 9 hitters here in the 8th. Jimmy Thies, Parker Smith, and Spencer Sarangar.
It would be huge for the Spartans if Sullivan could have a quick inning, get their hot bats back up to the plate. Tampa took the 5-2 deficit and made it 5-4 with some good base hitting.
Here comes the first pitch to Thies. It's a curveball in there for a strike. Nicely done. Good start here in the inning for Paul Sullivan. Swung on and miss. Strike 2.
Sullivan has a little extra step in his delivery. I wonder if he's going to change it up here. If he's the type of pitcher who likes to change up his motion to maybe throw off the batter. He does.
And a swing and a miss. He struck him out. Second consecutive batter to strike out against Paul Sullivan. That's his 3rd strikeout of the game. He's pitching now in his... He's pitched 2 2/3 innings to this point. And here comes Smith. Again, a big home run threat here. 20 home runs on the year. He's 1 for 2 today, was hit by a pitch and scored in the 6th inning. Swing and a fly ball, deep right field, over into the corner. It's going to be over the wall, a home run. So similar to the one by Garavito. I mean, it was almost an instant replay.
Yeah, I mean, it was very close, just not short enough for Cumbo to get, but just long enough to get over the wall. I think that didn't even go 330. That may have been 328 feet. But, hey, just enough to get over the wall. That's all that matters. And Rollins are back up by 2.
The line is 321, the foul pole down the line. And like you say, it probably only went over by a couple of feet. And, again, that's a huge blow. Parker Smith with his 21st home run of the season. That pitch comes inside, ball 1. I was going to mention Saladino, when he walked in the 7th inning and came around to score later, the walk was credited to Berger, and then the run is charged to Berger since Saladino came around to score. There's a line drive foul down the left field line. So the line closes out finally for Berger. 6 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs, all earned. He walked 3 and hit 1, struck out 6. Was so solid. I mean, the first 5 innings, he was almost unhittable. He did give up the home run to Jamarcus Lyons, but boy, he was tough. He pitches in there for a strike, fastball, right at the knees.
There's that extra step again from Paul Sullivan. He likes to change up his delivery somewhat to try to mess with batters' timings, not too dissimilar from Nestor Cortez, who's on the Yankees in the MLB.
1-2 pitch just missed, a tad wide. Sullivan thought he might have had it right there.
It was a good 2-seamer, but must have been a little too low because I think that did get the corner of the plate.
Sullivan pitching to Sarangar, and it's grounded up the middle. Urso has it in track, picked it up, makes the toss across for out number 2. Here comes Joey Rubin. Rubin hit a sacrifice fly his last time. He has been retired all 4 trips to the plate, which is pretty interesting because he is one tough hitter, that's for sure.
For sure, and although he did get out all 4 times to the plate, he did bring home 1 sacrifice fly.
Rubin batting .324 coming into the game. That's dropped a bit as he takes a first pitch strike. Garavino is behind the plate now, and that is off the plate, ball 1. Garavito flashes the signs. Here comes the pitch. A little bit low. 2-1. Ground ball to third. Scooped up by Nunez. He throws in time to retire Joey Rubin. But Parker Smith connected just enough to get it over the right field wall, right down the foul line. It was fair. It's a home run, his 21st big fly of the year, and it makes it a 6-4 ball game. Heading to the bottom of the 8th, it is 6-4 Rollins on top of Tampa. It's Cumbo, Nunez, and Lyons here, the 4, 5, and 6 hitters. Yesterday against Spring Hill, Tampa scored 4 runs in the bottom of the 8th. They'd take that again if they can get it. The pitch is inside, ball 1. Of course, it was in a blowout win. Totally different situation. I do understand.
Yeah, but I think you're going to need that mentality just to try to get those 8 runs one more time. At the very least, the Spartans have chained together runs back-to-back. They scored 1 in the 6th. They scored 2 in the 7th. And if not for a very close home run, it would have been a 1-run ball game entering the inning.
Cumbo at the plate, ahead in the count, 2-0. Fouls it out of play. Down the left field line.
Spartans can at least boast they've got their strong bats coming up in Cumbo, Nunez, and Lyons. And you still have Garavito, Saladino, and Cadenas who've had great days due up too. Well, Cadenas 0 for 2, but he's helped out the team with some good bunting and good defense.
Ground ball out to short. The big hop played. Rubin throws him out. 1 away.
Good job by Rubin, and, well, 9 times out of 10, that is just a routine grounder. Cumbo, very fast in the base paths. He's, I think, one of the most underrated players on the Spartans side, despite winning a Conference Player of the Year, because not only does he hit for power, he's a great defender, he also has the speed to get on base on a lot of slap hits or bunts.
I'd say he's got his respect. If he's the player of the year in the conference, that's pretty good. I'm not sure how underrated he is, my friend.
Yeah, true. Maybe not as much underrated.
He's getting kudos, man.
Yeah, certainly not as underrated now, but maybe at the start of the year he was. He wasn't.
Okay. I'll give you that.
I'd argue he wasn't one of the top names you mentioned alongside Lala or Urso to start the season, but Cumbo certainly has made his name.
Line drive into right field is going to be caught. Coming on in a hurry was Smith, and he made the grab. Well hit, well struck, but right at the charging right fielder. Well, if that had dropped, we would be seeing Lions representing the tie and run for the second straight time. Last time in the situation, he struck out as the tying run, but now he just needs to get aboard to bring the tying run to the plate. He takes a first pitch slider in for a strike. Tate stones Fresina. On in relief. Brought another hard slider and just missed inside. 1-1. Rollins trying to advance to tomorrow's 5 o'clock game. And that pitch just misses. 2-1. The loser of this one plays Spring Hill College tomorrow at 1 o'clock in a loser-out game. So you don't want to drop into that if at all possible. They're going to check swing. Oh, they say he went around, and the Tampa fans do not like that call from the first base umpire. But it is a strike. He was right on top of it. It's 2-2 the count. Here comes the pitch. It's down in the dirt, ball 3. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Lions just trying to get aboard and bring Garavito to the plate as the tying run after he homered last time. Oh, boy, great fight off of that pitch. It was a slider inside and low, and he had committed to it, and he just managed to fight it off. Spoiled it. What a nice job of hitting by Lions.
Yeah, indeed. It's always tough to really fight it off when you're going early on a pitch that's going slow, but just does.
3-2 grounded. It's a foul ball. Boy, just missed. Just got over the bag to the left side by about an inch.
I'm going to pull up the live stats replay. I thought that actually stayed fair.
It was really close. When I first looked at it in real time, I thought that might have been fair. But the umpire down the third base line was right on top of it and said no.
I will say, yeah.
3-2, and here's a fly ball into short right center field. Will it drop? And it will not. The right fielder, Smith, comes on and makes the catch, and the Rollins fans know that they are just 3 outs away from beating Tampa here in the South Regional. We've played 8 innings. It is 6 runs, 11 hits for Rollins, 4 runs on 5 hits for Tampa, and we'll be back with the 9th when we return here on the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network.
Number 32, Kyle Hornsby. Inside the 30. Touchdown. Michaela Burgess. An incredible finish by Hall.
The NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org/opportunity.
Looking ahead to the 9th here, it will be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters in the top of the 9th for Rollins, while Tampa has the 7, 8, and 9 hitters. So things do not look good for the Spartans as you just look at it on paper, especially with the Tars leading by the score of 6-4.
And the Tars could still get themselves a little bit of run support. The heart of the order coming to the plate. Combined, Torres, Whitehead, and Coleman are 4 for 11 today. Not bad at the plate. And as a team, they're batting .333, 11 for 33. And they also know how to hit with runners in scoring position. They've 2 for 7 in that category as well.
Paul Sullivan still on the hill, double pumps, and now brings home a fastball right on the outside corner for a strike.
Yeah, after a shaky second inning kind of quote-unquote second inning after he had his first fulling on the mound, he's done a good job keeping Rollins quiet. Of course, the only other blemish came on a 330-foot home run by Smith, his second hit of the ball game.
Adams Torres, the batter, now in the hole, no balls, 2 strikes. Sullivan's pitch swung on and just got a piece of it to stay alive. Whitehead on deck has singled and doubled. No balls, 2 strikes to Adams Torres, the second baseman. Swung on, tapped foul down the third baseline. Again stays alive, and the count still 0-2. Torres batting .362 coming into the game, and he's 2 for 4 here, and there's another hit. He's 3 for 5. Does a nice job of hitting there. In the hole, 0-2, fought off some pitches, and ends up with a line shot into center field. And here comes Whitehead. Hit into a double play as last time, 6-4-3. It is incumbent upon Paul Sullivan to keep Rollins right where they are.
Yeah, that one was right down the middle. Very good hit from Torres. And now I wonder whether Rollins might try to bunt to advance the runner. Nunez playing in a position that's pretty far out.
I'd say no. A hit and run was on. There's a short fly ball. It might drop in. First baseman, nice play by Earhart, going the other way, and the runner does get back. Heads up base running by Torres as he was off and running on the hit and run. It looked to me like it was going to fall in there, but an over-the-shoulder catch by Earhart. Well done, and he had the presence of mind to whirl and throw to first base to try to double off the runner, but Torres got back just in time.
Yeah, it was not going to be an easy throw for Earhart to double him up there, even though Torres was a little off the bag. But still, that's an important catch to get to put one away, and you do set up a double play opportunity if Coleman continues to struggle at the plate. He's 0 for 3, did draw a walk in the third.
Swing and a miss by Coleman. They've spread it out today. RBIs by Rubin and Torres, 2 by Meehan on the home run. Smith hit the home run, and also Sarangar has an RBI. The 6 runs that have scored for Rollins. A swing and a miss as he took something off of that one. And he's ahead 2 strikes and nothing. The Spartans' RBIs have come from Earhart, Cumbo, Lyons, who hit the home run, and also Garavito, who hit a home run. Pinch hitting in the 7th. Swing and a miss. Coleman down on strikes. Nice job by Sullivan to take care of business there. 2 away here in the 9th.
That's Sullivan's 4th inning complete on the mound. He can finish this day with 4 1/3, and he's just gotten himself his 4th strikeout of the game.
Torres, we've seen him take off on the hit and run, but he's not stolen a base all year. Hasn't even attempted a stolen base all year.
That's interesting to see him really going this aggressive then.
Fastball outside, ball 1. Cam Meehan, the batter, 2 for 3 with a homer and a walk. Swing and a miss. Singled and scored in the 2nd. Walked and was stranded in the 3rd. Homered, a 2-run shot to break the tie in the 5th, and flew to left his last time up. 1-1 the count. 2 away, top of the 9th. Runner at first. Throw to first, the runner back in easily. Adams Torres 3 for 5 in this game, with a run batted in back in the 6th. And that was a very big run. One and 2 the count. Here comes the pitch to Meehan. Drive down the right field line. Will it stay fair? No, it curves foul into the corner. I knew it didn't have the distance. It was hit on a lower trajectory than the 2 home runs we've seen go out right at the 321 sign. But the wind is blowing out that direction. And you think back, and it was blowing out in that direction earlier in the game, and 2 home runs just made it over the wall there. So it could have been a much different game.
For sure. It's always interesting to see just how little can make an impact on the game, whether it's wind, whether it's just a couple feet and miles an hour.
1-2, and that ball is hit deep to left field. Giving chase and looking up, trying to make a catch. No, he can't do it. Lala watches it sail over the yellow stripe. It's a 2-run homer, and Rollins is now in command as Cam Meehan hits his 2nd 2-run homer of the game. His first went to right field. This one goes to left field. He has 4 runs batted in, equaling the Tampa output. And that is a big, big blow for the Rollins Tars.
It certainly is. Rollins, a huge play there by Mahan. Again, I mean, he had one that was early in the game. It gave them the lead. And now he's done it again to likely punch their ticket to the afternoon game. Tampa will have 3 outs to play for, but a 4-run lead is a lot more comfortable if you're Rollins. And for the Spartans, you might be having to chalk in a rematch against Spring Hill at 1 p.m. tomorrow.
1 ball, no strikes. That pitch catches the inside corner. And Mason Wilson looked back at the umpire and said, "Are you sure? That looked to be inside to me." Foul down the right side, just extended beyond the dugout. 1-2 the count to Mason Wilson. As we said earlier, the 7, 8, and 9 hitters are due up for Tampa. So you can look at that two ways. As that pitch is outside and low, evens the count 2-2. Number one, you think, well, that's not a good thing. Your best hitters are not coming up. However, if they can get on base, then you've got the Thunder coming at the top of the order, and maybe you can generate that big inning. Here's the 2-2. Swung on and missed. Sullivan strikes him out. 5th strikeout of the game for Sullivan, but Cam Meehan, the man of the day, 3 for 4 on the day with a pair of 2-run homers. He has scored 3 runs total, 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors, nobody left on. We head to the bottom of the 9th, and the Spartans have some work to do if they're going to.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can, and then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game, because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart.
We head to the bottom of the 9th here in Tampa. It's Rollins 8, Tampa 4. Rollins has had their way today. They have really done a nice job at the plate against the Tampa pitching. And the first pitch hits Garavito, who homered his first time in a pinch hitting role back in the 7th. But he is on base, and that is how perhaps things can start for Tampa. Here comes Saladino. Bottom of the order, set the table, bring up the Thunder, top of the order. Let's see what happens.
Yeah,
Can the Spartans generate it? We'll see.
You see a lot of the times the Spartans will try to bunt with a runner on first, but yeah, they're not going to do that here with Saladino. They have only 3 outs to play with and 4 runs to make back, so they're going to hope that Saladino can get on base again. He drew a walk in the 7th, got a single in the 2nd.
1 strike the count. That fastball misses wide. 1-1. Saladino would take another walk. Thank you. Saladino was at the plate with a 2-0 count when Stone Frasina came into the game. He misses there, and it's 2 balls and a strike. Stone Frasina in his 3rd inning of work. He retired the Spartans in order in the 8th after giving up a walk and a hit in the 7th. Fastball low. 3-1. Can Saladino work the walk?
Well, if so, you'd bring up Cadenas, and then you'd have Lalo representing a tying run on deck. And that is what could be very dangerous for the Spartans.
Foul ball out of play. Pitch was down low, and Saladino went out there to try to get it, or went down to try to get it, and fouled it back out of play. So the count goes full. Garavito at first, after being hit by the first pitch of this 9th inning. Swing down the left field line, curving away. Is it going to stay fair? It does not. It curves about 10 feet foul as Coleman gave chase. Couldn't couldn't get to it to make the catch, but it was far enough foul that it was never in danger of allowing Saladino to get on base. 3-2, we'll do it again. And it's strike three call.
Oh.
Saladino thought it was not in there, but that broke right over the plate. Saladino, I think, thought it might have been low, but it was a strike three call. And Joe Urso comes all the way down from the third base box. He has to be careful that he doesn't get tossed out here.
Honestly, I would not be surprised if Urso does get tossed out. There have been a lot of close strike three calls in the ball game, and I definitely can't blame Saladino for being a little disappointed. But, yeah, there's a reason you can't argue with City Hall. The Spartans dugout and fans certainly not a fan of the home plate umpire today. But, hey, that's sometimes how the cookie crumbles. Here's Cadenas with one away.
Casey Sanchez, the home plate umpire, took command on that one. He said it's a strike.
And you got to make sure you stick to the calls as an umpire. I mean, they're umpires and they know how to deal with the grief from the fans. But hey, that's just the job description. We're thankful to have umpires. They help make our games happen.
One ball, two balls, no strikes now.
I was doing summer league games up in Elmira last year, and sometimes we wouldn't have enough umpires for an official game in the league. So it's really great that we're able to have.
Well, it's the NCAA tournament. You're going to have umpires.
You're going to have enough,
but
up. It always does make you more appreciative for the men in blue who are, they go out there, they're spending all day in the heat, they're not able to swing or pitch or do any of the fun stuff. They have to make the calls that sometimes are really, really tough.
In for a strike, 2 balls, 1 strike. Curveball up the middle, base hit. The Spartans have 2 men on. And the top of the order coming to the plate as Cadenas gets his first hit of the day. A solid single to center. And here's Lala coming to the plate. 0 for 2 with a couple of walks. If he can get on, the tying run would come to the plate. Drew Earhart. Earhart is on deck.
Interesting call here for Urso not to pinch run Garavito in this spot.
Well, his run won't mean that. He'll hold him up if there's any close play. That run doesn't mean much. He's got to have 4. The 1 doesn't make a difference. Fastball inside, ball 1.
Actually looked to be a slider, I think, breaking just a little bit low there. And also to the inside.
Lala grounded to third in the 7th after walking his 2 previous trips. He takes a strike. He lined out to center in the 1st, looking for his first hit of the day. And it would not be an upset if he were able to get one. He's the team's leading hitter, batting .441 coming into the game. He takes a pitch that looked really good, and it's called a ball. 2-1 the count.
Yeah, I agree. There are sometimes balls that have been strikes that have been balls, and I think that one was the latter. It looked like the off-speed pitch just got that top corner. But maybe Sarengard did a little too hard to try to frame it in the zone. That maybe was the reason that it was called a ball.
There's another hit into the left center field gap. Center fielder over to pick it up, Meehan. The run will score. And over to third goes Cadenas. And the tying run will come to the plate. It's now an 8-5 ball game.
And Drew Earhart, the man who is born for these clutch situations, does represent that tying run. A bit of hope late here with 1 away for the Spartans. Lala, his first hit comes at the right time, and there will be a conference on the mound just to settle Stone Friesina down. There's no one warming up for Rollins. They're not going to make a change.
No, we're going to keep it here.
Riding Tate's arm.
Yeah, we'll keep it here, as a matter of fact, while they talk it over. You've got Earhart coming to the plate. Again, we've mentioned it a couple of times throughout the weekend. He became Tampa's all-time career hits leader with a home run in the final series of the regular season. But he has since, yesterday, when he had the 5-for-6 game with a couple of home runs, he became the Sunshine State Conference record holder for career hits. I know some people are saying, hey, he's been around forever. He's been here thanks to the really COVID seasons and things like that. You get extra opportunities, but you can't take it away from him. He has done the job, and now he will represent the tying run. It's an 8-5 game. 8 runs, 13 hits for Rollins. 5 runs, 7 hits. Well, I mentioned before the bottom of the night started, the 7, 8, 9 hitters, 2 of the 3 did get on, and now Lala delivers And here's the pitch to Earhart. A beautiful slider right on the corner for a strike.
Setting the table, and now the middle of the order has a chance to feast.
The Spartans have work to do. Swing and a miss. That pitch was out, and Earhart went chasing.
He was looking fastball, but a very nicely located slider. Although it misses by a lot in the zone, it looks like a fastball that's going to that outside corner.
He's 1 for 2 today with a walk and a hit by pitch. Also hit into a double play. Does not want to do that now or the game would be over. That pitch is low, ball 1. The Tars are playing for 2. They would allow the runs to score just to get an out, but if they can get the ball, and both the second baseman and the shortstop are shaded right to the bag. Let's see, Earhart might be able to pull it right through the hole. He swings and misses on the pitch that was off the plate. And that is out number 2. And it will be up to J.D. Urso. Urso comes to the plate, came into the game batting .382. Urso not normally a home run hitter, but can go deep. He's hit 5 this year. If you're thinking home run to tie, it could happen. But certainly Stone Frasina is trying to end the game right here. 2 away. Here's the pitch. In the dirt, gets away. Nobody advances.
No need to risk the game ending there by advancing. Lala just sticking over at first. And obviously, double play ball wouldn't matter. It would just be a force out if so. But both runners are just going to be running on anything here.
Urso, 0 for 4. Has been called out on strikes twice. He takes that pitch low. Ball 2. 2-0. He's lined to center, grounded out, and struck out. Caught looking 2 times today in the first and in the 6th. He represents the tying run with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 9th. 8-5 Rollins. Here's the pitch. It's just off the plate. 3-0 the count.
Not a bad idea to walk Urso. Even though Cumbo's a very dangerous hitter, Urso is also very due to get a hit, and, well, he knows how to hit it hard.
J.D. looked down to Joe, his dad, for signs. Should I take? Yes, he says. Take at least 1. So now that's a strike, so it's 3-1, and now J.D. will have the go. He can hit if it's in there, but he better not chase. That's probably the mandate from his father and head coach. 3-1 pitch. Foul off the right side. The count has gone full. Well, here we go.
We always talk about full count, the bottom of the 9th, these tense at-bats, and, well, this is one of them.
And J.D. wants to talk to his father, Joe, just to get an idea. And this might be just to break some momentum as Stone Frasina has battled back to get the count full. That's about all they could be talking about is just, I'm going to try to get a good pitch. I'll try to hit it. He's not talking about laying down a bunt on a 3-2 pitch.
Yeah, and obviously he wants to hit it hard. He wants to hit it far, but he just wants to hit it as well.
Just hit it in a hole at this point. 3-2 pitch. 2 outs. Stone Frasina brings it. Here it comes, and it's driven to center field deep, over his head. It's to the wall. 1 run is in. 2 runs are in, and the tying run, Urso, pulls into second with a stand-up double. It is 8-7 here in Tampa. The Spartans are still alive.
Just what the doctor ordered. Urso 0 for 4 to 1 for 5 at the death. And E.J. Cumbo represents a winning run with the tying run halfway home.
Cadena scored from third. Lala raced around from first. All that does is mean that the tying run is now at second base. And here is Cumbo. He is 1 for 4. Lefty facing the righty, Stone Frasina, the SSC Player of the Year at the plate. Takes it upstairs and off the plate, ball 1. Now the Tampa fans are very much alive.
They certainly are, and the job has got a little bit harder for Stone Frasina now. A hit would tie the game because Urso is also going to be running on anything, and there is going to be a quick conference on the mound. No change for Rollins. No one's in the bullpen, although there is activity in the Spartans bullpen.
Well, if this game were to go extra innings, we might see a different pitcher since Paul Sullivan has gone.
Yeah, my guess would
four and a third. So
my guess would probably be it would be Braden Nelson maybe making an appearance. Him or Dalton Ross, a high leverage 10th inning potentially.
It's up to Cumbo to see if that could happen. A base hit would likely tie it. They're playing him straight away. Here's the pitch to Cumbo. It's a curveball in for a strike.
Just gets the outside corner very close, but still very early in the at-bat here.
1-1 the count. Stone Frasina checks the sign. Cumbo digs in. He's engaged. There's the check of the runner at second. He's not going anywhere yet. It's a tap towards third. Picking it up on the good hop. The throw to first. In time, Rollins wins. Cumbo with a tapper down the line to third. And Thies charged, caught it before the short hop. So he caught it on what was the only hop. And he made the throw across to Whitehead to end the ball game. The Spartans in the ninth come up just short. 3 runs on 3 hits. No errors. 1 man left in scoring position. Heartbreak for the Spartans as they end up losing to Rollins 8-7. 8 runs, 13 hits, no errors for Rollins. 7 runs, 8 hits, no errors for Tampa. And the Spartans will fall into the 1 o'clock game tomorrow against Spring Hill College, a team that they defeated yesterday 17-2. So
that's good news for Spartans fans. You're going to be the pretty odds-on favorite in that game, but the job to make it out of the region has gotten a lot harder in what could be eventually game 1 of the series between the Spartans and Tars. They go down 0-1. That is a very tough save. It took a long time for Frasina to get, and it almost got evaporated. It was at the very end. Cumbo, not a bad hit either. Had a tough slap and certainly not easy for Thies to get to, but he makes a very crucial play, beating Cumbo by just a step. As Rollins hold on, Spring Hill will be motivated to get some revenge over those last 2 very unfavorable losses, and we'll have to see at 1 p.m. whether Tampa will have a rematch against Rollins or whether a Cinderella story could be forming for Spring Hill.
Yeah, Spring Hill got its first ever regional victory earlier today when they beat Valdosta State by the score of 5-4. A great win. They've been an NCAA Division II school for 5 years, and this was their first D2 regional victory. They were very happy about it. They've got some injury problems, which we discussed earlier in the broadcast, but they're thrilled to have an opportunity to play yet again against the Tampa Spartans. The Spartans obviously disappointed. They'll have to now win 3 in a row if they are to get to next week's Super Regional. Nick Berger pitched the first 6 innings, gave up 4 runs, all earned, 5 hits. He struck out 6. He gets the win. He is 4-4 on the year. Tate Stone Frasina pitches the final 3 innings, and he gives up 4 hits and a total of 4 runs, 3 runs, I should say, as he gets up his 6th save of the season for Stone Frasina. The losing pitcher, Michael Paul, he went 4 2/3, and the Spartans fell behind early and never were able to catch up after the 1-1 tie. So that's going to do it here for this broadcast. For Taylor, for Taylor Stolworthy, I am Scott Lynn saying thanks for being with us, and for all of us here, we hope you enjoyed the broadcast, if not the result, for the Tampa fans at least. Rollins moves on. They are still undefeated in this double elimination tournament. Tampa now has to win 3 times if they're going to advance out of the South Region final here this weekend. So we will step aside and say Jack Ike will be here tomorrow, and he'll bring you the broadcast at 1 o'clock as Tampa will be taking on Spring Hill College. The Badgers, the Cinderella story of the tournament. Again, for Taylor, this is Scott saying thanks for being with us. That's going to do it. Again, the final, it's Rollins 8 and Tampa 7. Good night, everybody.